Hello everyone, it's Rayleigh. Welcome back to more Ace Attorney Investigations. Miles Edgeworth. So we're moving on to episode 2, Turnabout Airlines now. Yes. Okay. Turnabout Airlines. The murder that occurred in my office. The return of the great thief Yatagarasu. Thinking back, everything began on that fateful day 2 days ago. Two days earlier, we died. Never mind, it's just wine. Yes, everything began high up in the air, 9,000 feet in the air to be precise. Thank you for flying Go You Airlines. We are currently experiencing some slight turbulence. We are asking all passengers to please return to their seats and fasten their seatbelts. March 12th, 6:13 a.m., flight G390, first floor lounge. Ugh. Why do I feel like I just woke up from a horrible nightmare? 6:13, huh? Guess I was out cold for about 10 minutes. Slight turbulence, indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, we are currently experiencing some slight turbulence. For your safety, we ask that you return to your seats and fasten your seatbelts. I suppose turbulence is to be expected on a flight. Though, admittedly, I'm less than comfortable with anything resembling earthquakes. Oops. What's this? A travel wallet, but it's not mine. How did someone else's travel wallet wind up in my pocket? Ugh, my head. Why won't this headache go away? I'll take care of this travel wallet later, or hand it off to an attendant. Ugh, from earthquake-like turbulence to an elevator. Breathe, Edgeworth. What am I doing, hesitating like this? Actually, I know full well why I hesitate. It was when I was still but a young child. I was caught up in a murder that happened in an elevator. But how long am I going to let my past haunt me? It's just an elevator. I'm a grown man now. I need to behave like one. Is that Byakuya? What the... What in the world happened? Is there something wrong, sir? I must ask that you please return to your seat. He's dead! Please calm down. We mustn't jump to conclusions without all the facts. What's wrong? Did something happen? You murderer! Oh, no, you have it all wrong. It wasn't me. March 12th, 6:41 a.m., flight G390, second floor, first class. There is a lot going on. Everyone, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I have an important announcement. I'm one of your flight attendants today, Rhoda Tenero. Unfortunately, we have just had a minor accident on this flight. An accident? Don't treat us like we're stupid. I caught a glimpse and it was a murder. What? Murder? What's going on with this flight? Everyone, please calm down. There's no reason to panic. This flight will stay on course and make its scheduled landing. We're still currently in the middle of a rough patch of turbulence. So, until we are out of this area of turbulence, I ask that you please remain seated. Someone was killed, right? I mean, what about the killer? Let me off. Please, there's no need to feel threatened. We have already apprehended the culprit. I ask that everyone please remain calm. What the heck's he talking about? Why should we remain calm? My name is Miles Edgeworth. I'm a prosecutor, and I assure you, I'm not the killer. Being a prosecutor doesn't make you incapable of murder, buddy. Now you listen here. I'm not the killer. I simply found the body. So you say. However, I'm sure that you're the perpetrator of this crime. I swear on my honor as a professional flight attendant. Oh, is that right? I know what I saw. And there's even very strong, incriminating evidence to back me up. What kind of incriminating evidence is she talking about? We've already alerted the proper authorities at our destination. Until we land, you will remain in our custody by the powers vested in our captain. I'm very sorry, but please understand our situation. Your situation? I'm more concerned with mine and the direction it's going in. I'm not about to just sit idly by while I get accused of murder. Miss Tenero, is it? Yes? I was wondering if you might give me a chance. A chance? To do what? A chance to plead my case. And a chance to ask what you meant by incriminating evidence just now. To accuse a passenger of such a grave crime without allowing him to give a proper defense. Can the professional flight attendant inside of you really call this action righteous? You have a point. Very well. I'll listen to what you have to say. But be wary of what you reveal. I'm afraid you'll only look even more suspicious if your explanation fails to satisfy. I also do not have the time to deal with you all day, so please make it quick. Of course, as you wish. Good. Very well then. Let's get started. I know for a fact that I didn't kill that man in the elevator. What I don't know is what sort of evidence she has up her sleeve. But I'm certain it doesn't fit with how the crime really occurred. What Miss Tenero saw. I hope I'm saying her name right. Like Rhoda Tenero. Whatever. Sorry. I swear to tell the whole truth as a professional flight attendant. Unfortunately for you, Mr. Edgeworth, I'm certain you're the killer. The scene I saw in front of the elevator. It was you, standing there, with fresh blood dripping off the murder weapon. So, if you would please cooperate, we'll turn you over just as soon as we land. That's it. That's her evidence. I don't think you can ask for a more perfect witness testimony. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Edgeworth? Not really. It's hardly perfect when there's a gaping hole in it. Swear to tell the whole truth. Nothing but the truth. I have a wallet that I accidentally dropped in the blood.
Objection!
Miss Tenero. Oh, what is with the yelling all of a sudden? Force of habit. Well, it doesn't matter. Miss Tenero. You say you saw the murder weapon dripping with blood. Is that correct? Yes, all that blood. Drip, drip, drip. Just recalling that scene sends a chill down my spine. Sorry, but your so-called professional flight attendant training has failed you. What? I'd like to direct your attention to this. Do you know what this is? It's a travel wallet, right? But it looks a little big and bulky. The thing you saw me holding when I discovered the dead body in the elevator was this very travel wallet, Miss Tenero. What? Impossible! Now then, do you still think I'm the killer? That I killed him with a travel wallet? But I saw blood dripping from the wallet. I know I did. As you can see, this wallet is clearly stained. But if you would be so kind as to take a whiff, as one does, I think you would agree it's only grape juice. Then... That's right. You mistook grape juice for blood. The murder weapon dripping with blood does not, in fact, exist. No! There. That should clear up that pesky accusation. Hold it! Wait just a sec. That is... I mean, even a wallet could be deadly if it was wrapped around something heavy. I demand that you show me what's inside. Please. She's trembling, and the tacked-on please at the end. Sounds like I've got her. There's no need to look inside. Even if you can tell from its appearance, that's light. Even you can tell from its appearance that it's light. No, I can't be sure of anything until I see the contents of the wallet for myself. She's a persistent one. I suppose we have no choice but to see what's inside. Miss Tenero, if you would be so kind as to open the wallet and check its contents for me. Alright. I usually don't pry into passengers' belongings, but we have no choice here. KK slider? It seems that this passport is all that's in there. As you saw, there's nothing but a passport inside. This renders your wallet was the murder weapon argument moot. Wouldn't you agree? Hold it! Please, hear me out, Mr. Edgeworth. What is it now? Well, I was wondering, whose passport is it exactly? Can I take a look? Why not? I'm rather curious myself. This is... Ackby Hicks. Ackby Hicks. Ackby Hicks. Not sure what the pun there is yet. Just as I thought. This travel wallet belonged to Mr. Ackby Hicks. Ackby Hicks. Ackby Hicks. Ackby Hicks. Ackby Hicks. Which makes it the victim's property. Wallet data. 5-4. You stole the victim's wallet, didn't you? How dare you? You said it yourself. You claimed to be holding this wallet in your hands when I found you. Perhaps I did misconstrue the wallet for the murder weapon, but it seems that I wasn't wrong about who the culprit is. Miss Tenero's logic. As you claimed, the murder weapon is not the travel wallet. However, it is something you stole from Mr. Hicks after you were done with the vile deed. I find it hard to believe myself, but your motive was very simple. You were out to steal Mr. Hicks' money, weren't you? So even though I didn't have the murder weapon on me, you still suspect me. I see. You stood up at the crime scene with the victim's wallet in your hands. How can I turn a blind eye and not suspect you of foul play? Is he playing the murder weapon? Not travel wallet. It is hard to believe. For example, you're out to steal his money. The wallet doesn't have money in it, does it? Well, I guess I wouldn't know if he does have money in it. Grape juice stains the outer cover. True, it was I who dropped it in the juice. However, I didn't do it out of ill intentions. Passport. Seems that this passport is all that's in here. There's no money whatsoever inside this travel wallet. Okay. Okay, so he has all his money there. So I didn't take it even if I wanted to.
Objection!
I wonder if I might get a word in, Miss Tenedo. What is it now? Miss Tenedo, I wonder if you noticed the contradiction within your own testimony. What are you talking about? It's simply impossible that the motive of this murder was monetary theft. One glance at the crime scene should have told you that. What about this scene would prove that the motive of the murder was not the money? It's all over the place.
Take that!
That may direct your attention to the things strewn all over the floor. That's right. The floor is covered in bills and coinage. By your rationale, these were the very things the killer was after. I think we can assume that the wallet fell during the victim's struggle with his killer. And I would think that the killer would have noticed something like money scattering everywhere. Furthermore, as you can see, there was no effort made by the killer to gather the money. But the wallet...
Objection!
Ah, yes, the wallet. You'll also recall that the only thing in it was Mr. Hicks' passport. If you're really insisting that it was a crime based on greed, then you're claiming that it was all for an empty travel wallet. Forgive me! Hey, what the heck? Are you saying the attendant's wrong? That the guy isn't the killer? Don't believe it, everyone. It's a trick. Will you all please be quiet? Miss Tenedo. Yes? You lost your cool when you saw the dead body. Plus, the lounge was dark, and looking into the light from the elevator, it's easy to see how you mistook the wallet in my hand for the murder weapon. I take no offense that you thought that I was the killer. Mr. Edgeworth. Thank you for releasing me. What is it now? Miss Tenedo, if you could please translate, I'd be much obliged. It sounds like Borgidian, but I don't understand any of it. There's another attendant on this flight who... I said that he's giving the runabout. I don't require an interpreter. I speak English just well, see? You, the attendant. Yes, sir? I want this person to be under the arrest until we arrive at the airport. I'm sorry, sir, but what exactly are you hoping for? What is it you want? I'm finished talking to the likes of you. Please, I would like to hear why you would like me to be held under arrest until we land. You! How dare you try to waste my time? You're the one who stuck your nose into my affairs. I wanted to spend even at least one more second with my precious art. I have no time for other things. I know what you are. I see through you. Insolvent. Yes, I'm pretty sure that's how you say it in English. Well, I should hope I'm not monetarily bankrupt, but I don't think that's what you meant. I'm sorry, but I don't think I caught your name. I am Zinc LeBlanc II. I'm a very wealthy man in the Bourguignon. But I am not an ordinary rich man. I'm an art dealer. A rich seller of beauty. Mr. LeBlanc, what do you mean just now? Pardon? When you said that Mr. Edgeworth was giving me the runabout? I have to explain. Unbelievable. I'll say it once and only once. I did not have even a second to waste. Time is money, as they say. Yes, and yet you continue to blather on. I saw it. Yes, I did. I saw the victim go onto the elevator. Going down to the lounge. It was exactly at 6 o'clock. And what's the significance of the time? At 6, he says. Wait, you saw him at 6? What's the matter, Mr. Edgeworth? He understands, I see. Miss Attendant, what time did you discover the body? Oh, well, it was a little after that patch of turbulence, so I would say around 6:15. Hicks was his name, was it? Then I say the man Hicks was killed in the 15-minute time span. And the only person in the lounge at the time was this prosecutor, yes? Yeah, I was in my seat the whole time. Me too. I was watching the movie and enjoying a flying glass of grape juice. I'm still eating. Still haven't finished, see? Other passengers have an alibi, so you have no problem with them, I suppose. No complaint, I see. No compliant, I see. Not a single word against this, right? I have no way of discounting what you have put forth at this point, but it wasn't me. Oh, so you say. But do you have, what you say, the evidence? Mr. Edgeworth, are you really the culprit after all? Mr. LeBlanc, I suppose you are quite certain in what you saw. Enough to give testimony. Of course, I was looking at the man the whole time. I was playing with that annoying little, small machine the whole time. Machine? Yes, that's what you people call it in English, yes? It was making me crazy with the click click click. From that description, it sounds like some sort of small computer. I believe what Mr. LeBlanc is talking about is a cell phone. I have to say that I did see him playing with it quite a bit myself. A simple cell phone. A laptop or organizer I can see, but that's kind of low budget. I hate that noisy little machine in his hand. Not a fragment of beauty. All it produces is ugly sounds. Anyway, I know what I saw. Miss Tenero. Yes? I was wondering if I might be granted permission to examine the crime scene. What? You wanna examine the crime scene? If you would grant me a little measure of time, I'm sure I can produce the real culprit. I don't like the sound of that. Fox and the duck pen. Yes, I think that is how you say it in English. It's fox guarding the hen house, and I believe my innocence was proven earlier. And if I'm given the chance, I can clear up all the remaining doubts. Miss Tenero, if you wait until we arrive, there is a good chance that some evidence will have been destroyed by then. I understand. Let me see what the captain has to say. This should not be approved.
Please, Mr. LeBlanc. In an emergency, all decisions are to be made by the captain alone. Now, please wait here while I go ask the captain what to do. I'll be right back. Run, girl.
You're not planning to erase evidence when you're doing your investigation, yes? Of course not. We will see.
Mr. Edgeworth, you have the captain's permission to investigate the crime scene.
What? Unbelievable. I'm in your debt, Miss Tenero.
However, there's one condition. I'm to supervise you. Can you agree to that?
Of course. I see no problem with that stipulation. It's only natural, as I am still a suspect in this case.
I take full responsibility and will watch Mr. Edgeworth's every move. I hope this is reassurance enough that there will be no foul play. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, shall we proceed? If you should need my help with anything, please feel free to use X to talk.
Time to head to the scene of the crime. The first floor lounge.
Alright. I'm gonna look around here first.
This is Mr. Hick's seat. I don't see the machine Mr. LeBlanc was talking about.
Perhaps it's in the elevator.
Maybe. We should probably head down to the crime scene now.
Girl sleeping. You killed him, didn't you?
It's a movie poster for License to Love, Laugh, Maim, and Murder.
That's a go-yo. I don't know if it's supposed to be you, or, you know, like, go... I'm just gonna call it Go-Yo. Go-Yo! Airlines sponsored movie. Suspense, hard-boiled action, romantic, horror, comedy flick.
Is that the genre listing for this thing?
Yes, it's a movie that can be enjoyed by anyone because it encompasses all those genres.
I can't even begin to imagine what the plot would be.
But you have to admit it has piqued your curiosity, right? I heard the main strategy with this genre listing was to make people curious.
Well then, consider the mission a successful one.
Hello. That leads to the emergency escape hatch. You can't go there in mid-flight.
What's the probability that the criminal escaped through here?
100%. Oh, let me finish my thought. I'm 100% certain they didn't.
When I'm searching for an answer, only complete thoughts need apply.
Can I talk to you?
Excuse me, I may have a word with you. You there.
If you need something, please ask Miss Rhonda over there, okay?
What the... Hey, wake up, you!
I'm terribly sorry that she's being so rude, Mr. Edgeworth.
No need for you to apologize. I just find it hard to believe she's asleep on the job. If I were her boss, I'd see to it that her salary was cut so low that it was in the red.
Okay. I'll deal with you later, I guess. How'd you find your meal to be, Mr. Edgeworth?
Come to think of it, I forgot all about it. Must have been asleep or something.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. Let me prepare you something right away.
What are you apologizing for, Miss Tenero?
I failed in my professional duties by letting a passenger go hungry. Please, help yourself. If you see anything to your fancy, feel free.
I think I'll take my time later, after I've solved this case. Thanks.
Hurry up and investigate. Time should not be wasted. Precious is human time, is how you say it, I believe. Mr. LeBlanc seems to be protecting this gargantuan vase on the chair rather closely.
It's a marvelous face, though, isn't it? Yes, I dare say so, as a professional attendant. I don't think there's any real connection between a piece of art and being an attendant. But I'm not just any old attendant. I'm a professional flight attendant. As though there were such a thing as an amateur flight attendant. It's my seat. Unfortunately, I didn't bring anything particularly useful for an investigation. It's not as if I'm constantly prepared for such a thing to occur. Oh, that's right. I was in the middle of recreating a chess game. Just an observation, but aren't there too many red knights around that lone blue pawn? Nonsense. It simply shows that the blue pawn is no match for the red knight's might. If I may have a word with you. This steak so awesome. That's great to hear. However, I would like to ask you a few questions. I was here the whole time, so I wouldn't know. Eat or speak. Please pick one. I think he chose to eat. Yes, I can hear that. Okay, I guess there's like nothing to look at his seat. Look at all these bottles lined up in a row. It's a miracle they made it through the turbulence without a scratch. Actually, we asked the drink vendor to clean up all the ones that did break earlier. Then you mean to tell me he put all these up here after the turbulence? We're simply thrilled to have someone so interested in the variety of drinks available. I don't think anyone should drink this much. There's such a thing as overhydration. Hey miss, how about another glass? Excuse me, but I was wondering if you know anything about the murder. How about it? How about a glass together? Sorry, but I must decline. I wasn't talking to you. I was asking the cute attendant. I'm sorry, but I'm on the clock right now. But if you need a refill, I'd be happy to bring you another glass at any time. You got it, Toots. You got it, Toots. It's no way to talk to a lady. What's a lifesaver doing here? I bought it at the in-flight shop just beyond the lounge. If something should happen, having one will save your life. I think this guy would be better off not taking a plane to begin with. Don't get near me, you criminal. He said don't get near me, you criminal. I'm not the killer, and I intend to prove that starting now. But that's contrary to the facts. He says that that's contrary to the facts. I can understand his English just fine, thank you very much. March 12th, 7:26 AM, flight 3390, first floor lounge. I want to thank you for your help back there, Miss Tenero. It was nothing. You should thank the captain for granting you permission. And just so everything's perfectly clear, I still don't trust you. Your standing with me hasn't changed one iota. I see. I'll bear that in mind. I received an order from the captain earlier. He wanted you to know that. We reserve the right to stop your investigation if we feel you're not making progress. And when we do, he asks that you please return to your seat at that time. So my time runs out at his and his crew's discretion, does it? I have to find a way to discredit Mr. LeBlanc's testimony before time's up. I understand. By the way, is there any place you can think of where the killer might hide on board? I don't think so. After every first-class passenger was accounted for at his or her seat,
We made a thorough search of the plane. As for business and economy class, no one can move between those two classes and first class without a staff keycard. And we found no record of a keycard being used at all. Which means that I have a first-class killer on my hands. At least I know that much for sure. And one other thing. No one else has been allowed near this crime scene since the murder was discovered here, either. First floor lounge. Now then, let's get started. But where should we start from? Let's start with Mr. LeBlanc's statements. The crime occurred between 6 a.m. and 6:15 a.m. During that interval, the only person in the lounge was myself, which would make me the prime suspect. However, since I did not kill Mr. Hicks, it means that the killer is around somewhere. Where is the killer? If we are to believe what you say is true, then yes. The first order of business will be to gather information to win your trust. There's some spilled grape juice in front of the elevator. I assume it was spilled during the turbulence. Oh, we must clean that up or someone might get hurt. Aha! What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? I found some very important evidence. What is the important piece of evidence in this scene? The footprints. And whatever this is.
Take that!
What is it?
They're a little smudged, but I think we can both agree that they're a set of footprints.
So, you think...
Yes, these belong to our killer.
Oh, then maybe we should check the shoe sizes of everyone in first class.
I don't think that'll be of any help to us. Unfortunately, the prints are too smudged, which will make it hard to get a definitive match.
Oh, I see. The in-flight shop is just beyond these shutters. But we don't have permission to open them, so I'm afraid I must leave them closed.
There must still be clues to be found here in this lounge. I must remain ever vigilant. A pity that a bronze statue knows not when good drink has been spilt at its feet.
This is a statue of our founder, Mr. Hugo Hughes, who was a big fan of grape juice. I'm sure he would be thrilled if he knew so much grape juice was here at his feet.
Is that a hint of hero worshipping I detect?
Hugo Hughes.
Glasses and candles thrown into disarray by the turbulence.
It's been a while since I've seen this big of a mess. It's terribly embarrassing, but I thought it was an earthquake for a second. And I frantically started searching for gas valves to shut off.
I guess the shaking of the plane was bad enough to mistake it for a real earthquake. Not that I would know, since I was unconscious for most of it. This toppled over chair, yet another victim of the turbulence.
Ow! No! Look at all the grape juice staining the back! You may not look it, but this chair was extremely valuable.
It was.
Yes, it was used when the Rocker Pals came to tour this plane. The Rocker Pals leader sat in this very chair.
I'm sorry, but what are these Rocker Pals?
I can't believe you never heard of them. They're all the rage. The Rocker Pals are an extremely popular international band. They added the Pals part as they became more popular, especially among teens.
Oh, that explains it. I'm not really one for music of today. Maybe I should ask Detective Gumshoe about them later. On second thought, I can already see how confusing the conversation would get. This grand piano is the pride of the plane. I can play the music of whatever CD we insert into the CD drive. That's not a piano. It's more like an overgrown music box.
But it's keys to press along with the music, as though there really is someone playing it.
Some people have entirely too much money to waste on overly complex toys. What or who is this?
This is a bronze statue of the founder of Goyo Airlines, Mr. Ugo Hughes. The one on the left is when he was in his 40s, and the other is of him in his 80s.
Did the man age at all over those 4 decades? Maybe I need to squint more.
Can I look at the hat, or whatever this bucket is?
No. These counter windows offer a glimpse of the sky, but these clouds, they tell me nothing.
Mr. Edgeworth, you look like you're talking to the clouds.
Is that so? Then tell me, what do you suppose I said to them?
I don't know, but it looked like a rather one-sided conversation.
The clouds, they tell me nothing. There are a few copies of Sky Magazine in the magazine rack.
This month's special is an English trivia quiz.
That's not a bad idea. I've heard that the youth of today don't know a particle from a participle.
Now, please don't go around confusing people with made-up words, Mr. Edgeworth. Who's ever heard of such a silly word as a participle?
Case in point. These bottles and glasses must have been broken by the turbulence. There's quite a bit of broken glass here. Please be careful when passing through the area.
Thank you very much for the warning, Mr. Edgeworth. However, no matter how kind you are towards me, know that it does not clear up any suspicions I have about you.
I wasn't warning you for the sake of clearing my name.
What's this door? This door leads to the flight attendant's room. But please understand that it's off-limits to unauthorized personnel.
The room is giving off the scent of woman's perfume. One would think that perfume would smell great. However, to me it simply smells. Not that I have any interest in what lies behind this door. Yet.
Perhaps we should return to the investigation, Mr. Edgeworth.
Mr.
Edgeworth?
Sorry, I spaced out for a second there.
Are you in need of assistance? I might as well talk to you, why not?
Miss Tonero, I'd like to ask you about investigating the lounge.
As long as you have the captain's permission, I can't stop you from looking around.
If you could pass a message along, tell him I'm grateful for his spirit of cooperation.
I will. However, please realize that you're still under suspicion. To be honest, I still have my doubts about you.
Of course, and I take no offense.
Do you really understand what I'm saying?
Yes, verily.
Do you pinky swear you do? On your honor as a professional prosecutor?
I pinky swear I do, on my honor as a professional prosecutor.
Well, I guess that settles that.
I feel my honor as a man slowly diminishing. Did you notice anything?
I was wondering whose footprints those are next to the elevator.
I'd say the killers, wouldn't you say? Even if they aren't, I'm sure they are a vital clue to solving this case.
Oh, maybe there are other clues waiting to be found in other places. Come on now, Mr. Edgeworth. Let's go find them together.
A word of advice. Nobody likes a credit thief, so stop stealing my lines. What floors does this elevator service?
Only the first and second, although it can also go down to the cargo hold. However, that requires a flight crew keycard.
So the only floors accessible to passengers are the first and second, huh? I won't rest until I've inspected every nook and cranny. I wonder what was hanging off his lanyard. Something's missing from this picture. Now if I could just put my finger on it. I doubt anyone was expecting to find a dead body in an elevator on this flight.
So Mr. Hicks, he's really dead?
Yes. She's trembling, although I can't fault her for that when there's a corpse right there.
Mr. Hicks, if you're really dead, then please answer yes.
I see she's over the trembling now, although a new symptom seems to have appeared. Anyway, I should focus on the victim's body. Let's see. There's blood on the back of Mr. Hicks' head. Could this be the cause of death? He appears to have been struck very hard. Blunt force trauma. Even his glasses are broken. Broken glasses. What is this sinister-looking figure on the floor here?
Is that a raccoon? No. That's a piggy bank of our company mascot, Captain Ugo. It's just one of the many pieces of merchandise we sell at our in-flight shop. This bank is a limited edition, and is so popular that we're down to our last one.
You have an in-flight shop?
Yes, it's just beyond the lounge to the right. The shutter to the store is closed at the moment, but it was open the whole flight up until Mr. Hicks' body was discovered.
There's blood on here. Could this have been the murder weapon? Money is strewn all over the floor of the elevator. I would guess it was all in Mr. Hicks' wallet at some point. There's something sticking out of his pocket. Hope he won't mind if I take a look at what's inside. It's a picture. Looks like it was taken inside a building somewhere.
What's on your lanyard? Your cell phone?
Photo. Okay.
I actually picked up the magazine.
See, I think that's his cell phone. Some kind of museum. Okay, is the contradiction his lanyard? Yeah, okay. I kinda off, but whatever. This crime scene completely contradicts this piece of evidence. I'm sorry, but where? Ah, I see the truth. Okay. I guess I was, you know, off. This is good, right? Please. Deduce. Lanyard photo. Come on. Mr. Hicks' machine is nowhere to be found.
His machine?
His cell phone, Miss Tenero.
So I guess because it's not here.
Yes, I think we can safely deduce that the killer took it.
Missing cell phone. You used to call me on your...
There's no grape juice residue on the soles of his shoes, making it highly unlikely that Mr. Hicks entered this elevator after the turbulence.
Is that everything?
I guess so. Okay. Blunt force trauma. A statue with blood on it lying next to the body of a man who was beaten to death.
Oh, Mr. Edgeworth, I think I figured something out.
Yes, what is it?
The way the blood is on this, it looks like it matches up with the wound on his head.
Well, aren't we deserving of the Master of the Obvious title?
Well, what do you think, Mr. Edgeworth? Don't you think that's worth investigating?
It would appear that this figurine is our murder weapon.
Oh, I just knew it! I mean, I can't think of any other connection.
Perhaps Master of the Oblivious would be more befitting. Found broken glasses, grape juice. The killer is in the elevator. They had to have been used the piggy bank. True, there wasn't anyone else in the lounge other than myself right before the turbulence. But if the killer was in the elevator along with the victim, then that's a different story. If only I could prove that the killer rode the elevator with him while someone walked away with the footprint. I have it.
I'm sorry, but I don't understand, Mr. Edgeworth.
I can prove that someone other than myself was here around the time of the murder.
What? Really?
Yes, it's rather simple, actually. The proof is in the pudding, or rather, the grape juice in this case. These footsteps here confess to me this very fact. That someone exited the elevator, alive. Seeing as how the victim is dead, that would mean a second person.
But couldn't the footprints be from Mr. Hicks himself?
Ah, but if you take a look at our victim's shoes, you can see the soles are spotless.
Which means...
Mr. Hicks wasn't alone in the elevator. In fact, it's quite the opposite. There was actually one other person inside the elevator.
Baba?
What's going on over there? Unforgivable. This is unforgivable. Do you understand what I'm saying? The movie is late. It is the same level of bad as if the plane arrived late.
But the movie...
What? I'll not talk to you anymore. You're just wasting my time.
What's the matter, Mr. LeBlanc? If there's no emergency, please return to your seat, sir.
Do not tell me what to do. I need not to sit down. Well, Mr. Prosecutor, did you prove you are innocent yet? If you would like, I will prove my innocence to you right now. What? Nonsense! Are you saying my eyewitness testimony is mistaken? Not mistaken, merely that there is room for doubt. I'd be most honored if you could please tell me what you saw in detail once more. Fine, suit yourself. What I saw. I'm certain I saw Mr. Hicks enter that elevator. It was when the needles on my pocket watch pointed to the 6 and the 12. The body was discovered 15 minutes after that in the lounge, yes. I knew the only person in the lounge at that time must be the criminal. Mr. LeBlanc's conclusions seemed to make logical sense. After all, the only person in the lounge at the supposed time of the murder was me. So, my eyewitness testimony. If you think you can destroy it, then come, let me see. Hurry! Do I look like a man who's having the time to wait for you? Why is he so irritated? I'm the one accused of murder here. Anyway, I must find a way to discredit Mr. LeBlanc's account somehow, and fast. You're certain? How certain? Mr. LeBlanc, were you able to get a good look at the inside of the elevator at that time? Of course, I saw what was inside. And you're sure that the victim was in the elevator alone? Yes, the only person inside was that Mr. Hicks man. This last outburst is a bit too important to let go. The only person inside was that Hicks man. Footprints.
Objection!
Mr. LeBlanc. What is it? There is a very glaring contradiction in your testimony. What do you mean? Please take a look at the area in front of the elevator. There, at the spilled grape juice. Yes, and will you admit you also spilled it with the blood? No, it spilled itself during the turbulence. But the interesting thing here is the set of grape juice footprints. Footprints? Yes, the ones that lead from within the elevator out into the lounge itself. It's evidence that proves that someone other than Mr. Hicks exited the elevator alive. Oomph! Oomph! There must have been another person in the elevator with Mr. Hicks. Now then, I'm done playing games. Why don't you tell us the truth? Can you please translate for us? No way, that's totally impossible, I guess is what he said. No way, that's totally impossible. I know there was no other person in there. I saw with my own eyes. If you want to know what I think, Mr. Edgeworth, I don't think Mr. LeBlanc is lying to us. I suppose she's right. He doesn't seem to be lying. But then, what does it mean? What about this contradiction? Mr. LeBlanc, please, just once more, will you recall the details of what you witnessed for me? What I saw, part 2. I was very upset when Mr. Hicks passed by my seat. I was always checking the time over and over again. I happened to follow that man with my eyes when he passed me. And I saw clearly into the elevator he was entering. But I swear there was no one else inside. No one. Mr. LeBlanc, if you would please calm down. What? Dare you too have an issue with my eyewitness testimony? No, not at all. Please forget I said anything. Yet again, he doesn't appear to be lying. But I can't let this testimony stand as the truth. Very upset when he passed my seat. We were checking the time. Why were you so attentive to the time? Because something unforgivable was happening. Come to think of it, you were yelling about something unforgivable earlier. I was giving a complaint to the attendant about the movie starting time. Return back to me my time, in money. You understand the point. Movie? Is he talking about the in-flight one that's mentioned in the magazine? 6. Summary of the plot and its start time. Interesting. They were supposed to show License to Love, Laugh, Maim, and Murder. I cannot see that movie in my country. I can only see it on international flights. I looked forward greatly to that movie. I checked my pocket watch whenever possible so I would not miss it. I even set my pocket watch to the destination time when I came on board. So my watch is not wrong. It matched the schedule. But the movie was still late. Very, very late.
Hold it!
Your pocket watch. I'd like to ask you a little more about it, if that's alright. The movie I wanted to see would not start, so I checked my pocket watch many times.
Hold it!
So this movie you mentioned, is it the one listed in the Sky magazine? Yes. I was so looking forward to watching License to Love, Laugh, Maim, and Murder. Miss Tenero, was this movie shown on this flight?
Yes, it was shown at a scheduled time.
Isn't it possible you simply slept through it by accident? Nonsense! You doubt me? No, now stop pointing at me like that. Odd. How did he miss a movie that he was clearly hoping to see? I checked my pocket watch a great number of times, that much I know for sure. Destination, Airlines, see, stars. My watch just said that is. Okay.
Objection!
Mr. LeBlanc, you said this just now in your testimony. I even set my pocket watch to the destination time when I came on board. Now, if your watch has been set to our destination's time zone, it would mean that your watch is displaying the time of our destination. Yes, and the correct time is worth its 6 cents. I would like you to take a look at this. If you believe this Sky magazine, clocks on this flight run in accordance with the time of our departure time zone. Of course, the movie schedule was also created with that in mind. Miss Tenero, for confirmation's sake, what time zone is this flight aligned to right now?
Well, we made a short stop at a transfer point.
That's right. It was in that small Asian country, the Republic of Zhangfa.
But we didn't readjust our onboard clocks at that time. So right now, we're still running on Borgian time.
What? The time difference between Borginia and our destination is 9 hours. In that case, it's only natural that your watch would be out of sync with the schedule. Blah. Further, with your analog watch set to our destination's time, it would appear to be running 3 hours fast when compared to the flight's onboard clocks. It also changes every time about your testimony. And you can bet 1,000,000 cents on that. In light of this information, it means you saw Mr. Hicks 3 hours prior at 3 a.m.
My 1,000,000
This should clear up all of the remaining accusations.
So, this basically widens the time frame for the time of death, right?
Yes, because Mr. LeBlanc saw the victim enter the elevator at 3 a.m. It means that the time of death could be anywhere from 3 to 6:15 a.m. The question now is, where was Mr. Hicks during that span of time, and what was he doing?
I've got something to say.
And you are?
Yeah, oh. I'm Gabby Neal. I'm a flight attendant.
And what is it you wish to say?
Well, I think your story is a little different from how I remember it. What do you mean, Cammy? I saw Mr. Hicks sitting in his seat at 5 a.m., you know.
What? How could you be so sure of the time?
Oh, that's right. He pushed his call button while we were parked at the transfer point.
Huh. The stop we made for refueling and cargo transfer in Zhangfa, correct?
This flight will be making a brief stop to refuel and transfer cargo in the Republic of Zhangfa between 4 and 5 a.m. We ask that all passengers remain on board at the time. Thank you for your cooperation. Yes, it was from 4 to 5 a.m. according to our clocks.
And during that time, did any of the passengers leave or did any new ones board the flight?
No. Not a single person got off or on in Geneva.
What about the flight crew?
The few who were handling the cargo transfer might have temporarily gotten on or off, but eventually everyone, including Cammy and myself, came back on the plane.
So basically, I can assume that no one left or got on since our initial takeoff. Interesting. I should keep that in mind.
Yeah, and I answered his call. I can tell you Mr. Acme Hicks was there to see when he took off again at 5 a.m.
Alright, and that puts the time of the murder between 5 and 6:15 a.m.
Okay, now what time did you come down to the lounge, Mr. Edgeworth?
I remember coming down here almost as soon as we left the Republic of Genfa. Ah! You were here the whole time from 5, yes? Then you are the only one who could be the killer.
Mr. Edgeworth, were you really here in this lounge the entire time from 5 a.m. onwards?
Unfortunately, yes.
But then, how do we explain the footprints?
It's not that obvious. This man waited for Mr. Hicks here in this lounge, waited to kill him. And then he put the corpse into the elevator. That is when the turbulence happened. My eyewitness testimony may have been mistaken. But what time I saw Mr. Hicks enter the elevator on the second floor does not matter. Because the entire incident concluded here in this lounge. Everything happened in this lounge. Is that what you really believe, Mr. LeBlanc? Oh, do you have another idea? I simply feel that there is something out of place in the scenario you presented. Is there something that could tie this crime to location other than the lounge? His cell phone? No. In-flight shop. Usually in the shop. Yes.
Take that!
The murder weapon, this little piggy bank, is sold at the in-flight shop. It is sold there and only there, and is not displayed here in the lounge. How, then, did it find its way here? Don't you find that a tiny bit suspicious? Such a trivial point. It only means you prepared it, taking it from the shop first before coming here. It doesn't prove you are innocent at all. Is there no way to win with this man?
Hold it! If I may.
What is it?
You see... Well, it's just as Mr. Edgeworth says.
Oh, and why do you know this so well?
Well, it's just that... That piggy bank was there in the shop. I saw it with my own eyes.
And when was this?
It was maybe around 5:40 a.m.?
Isn't that just before we hit that patch of turbulence?
That's right.
You were in the shop just before the turbulence.
Yes, I was.
Come to think of it. Miss Tenero, when I found the body, I believe you came out of that door.
Yes, I did.
And what is beyond that door?
That's the flight attendant's room.
Then you were on the first floor.
Yes. I had to do something at the shop and in the flight attendant's room. So I went to the shop first and then to the flight attendant's room.
Are you saying you passed by me at some point?
Yes, you seemed really into the issue of Sky magazine you were reading at the time. I don't suppose you noticed me walking by.
I vaguely recall someone walking by, but I didn't take notice of who it was.
Anyway, the piggy bank was definitely there at the shop when I went there.
Why did you go to the shop in the first place?
I went there for a work-related matter.
Work, you say?
Yes, the upkeep of the shop is also one of my responsibilities.
Why did you not say anything about that until now, is what I want to know. In any case, I believe it's clear that the shop needs to be investigated as well.
Shall we head over there then?
What is it now?
Are you forgetting something, Miss Rhoda? Don't you need the captain's permission to check the shop?
No, I haven't forgotten. But I have already asked him for permission to search the entire plane. So I think we're alright.
Huh? That's weird.
What is?
Well, I just talked to the captain, see? And he said that he didn't give you permission to do anything like that at all.
What is the meaning of this, Miss Tenero?
It means she's lying. Go on, admit that you are. You said you had permission to search all over, but you don't. And yet, here you are.
You, flight attendant. What are you trying to do? Pull the sheep over us?
The captain's calling for you, Miss Rhoda. Oh, but don't worry. I already got permission to search the shop from the captain. See, unlike you, I do things the right way.
Miss Tenero, why would you do such a thing? Please, excuse me.
Looks like I get to be in charge now. Please go back to your seat, Mr. LeBlanc. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth. If you would follow me, I'll be your guide from now on.
There's something about Miss Tenero that has piqued my curiosity. But right now, investigating the in-flight shop is my top priority. Miss Neal, about investigating the in-flight shop. You're of no use to me asleep. Wake up.
Oh, what? What's up?
I need you to come with me so I can search the shop.
Go on ahead without me. I'll catch up with you later.
How has this woman not been fired yet? Ooh, I'm really mad. I'd better hurry and bring to me some evidence. You could wait just a little longer while we look in the shop. Don't number the birds before they are born. Don't number the... What? I have no idea what he's trying to say. Don't count your chickens before they hatch, perhaps. All I ask of you is your patience and cooperation. These counter windows offer a glimpse of the sky, they tell me nothing. Now's not the time for me to stand here making up soliloquies. Hurry to the shop. Bottles and glasses must have been broken by the turbulence. Quite a bit of broken glass here, be careful.
Huh? Did you say something?
I said that there's glass here and to be careful.
But why?
Obviously, common sense does not register even as a blip on this girl's radar.
Mr. Edgeworth, that's the attendance room.
Please excuse me. It was a simple mistake.
You made a mistake, didn't you? Why don't you just come out and say it?
That's exactly what I just said. I made a small mistake. Don't nod off while I'm talking.
Mr. Edgeworth.
Piano. It's been a while since I played one of these. It might not be a bad idea to brush up a bit after all this time. Of course, that's contingent on the outcome of this case. It's time to get investigating. Help. There are a few copies of Sky magazine in the magazine rack. Special this month is an English trivia quiz. Of course, I have never uttered a single grammatically incorrect sentence in my life. What is it? Why are you looking at me for? Hurry and go do your investigating. I do not believe in this making haste slowly saying you have in English. There's something written on the pedestal. Here lies Hugo Hughes. I don't think that's what they meant to write. A pity that a bronze statue knows not when good drink has been spilled at its feet. Odd, compared to the one on the left, the statue appears to be slouching a little. It must be the altitude. Yes, that's it. Considering which way these prints are pointed, it's likely the killer went to the shop. I should really make my way over there now.
No, I'm looking.
I already checked this area earlier, but it never hurts to take another look. Not anyone suspecting, find a dead body. I'll do anything in my power to bring this to the end. There's money on the floor. Hang on. His shoes are clean. The bank. Victim. Whoops. Machine. Need to find his cell phone. Blood on the back of his head. Cause of death. Struck very hard. Looks like there's a picture. Okay. Toppled over chair. We have another victim. In the back, in honor of Rocker Powell's Day. I have a distinct impression that this chair has nothing to do with the case. Glasses and candles thrown in disarray. Frosty of the last patch and of... No, I can't do this anymore. I've overcome that already. I won't let past traumas control me for the rest of my life. If only it were that easy, Mr. Edgeworth. March 12th, 8:32 a.m. Flight G390, first floor, in-flight shop. So, this is the in-flight shop. It's quite a mess in here.
You think? Guess I'll have to clean things up then.
Hold on. You can't clean up a potential crime scene.
Oh, thank goodness. I hate cleaning so much.
I mustn't rush things here. I must remain cool, calm, and collected. Because this piggy bank was left at the crime scene. There's a very good chance the killer had paid this place a visit. What are these?
Oh, those are our company's completely original line of suitcases. They're practically flying out the door. That's how popular they are. You should buy one and see how you like it. You won't regret it.
Perhaps that's how things work on this flight, but in the real world you try, then buy.
No way. But either way, it doesn't really matter.
True. Either way, why would anyone buy a suitcase after they boarded the plane?
Anyway, see that? Just look at all the Cactadugo heads painted on there. Cute company mascot, isn't he? You're painted on with a lot of care. Doesn't he look like he's about to jump out at you?
It's certainly making something jump inside my stomach.
Huh? Oh, I guess there's no fooling your refined taste. You look like you really wanted to get one. And I thought I was going to finally make my first sale, but you saw right through it. Glad that's done though. Never make me try to give you a sales pitch ever again, okay?
But I never showed any interest in it to begin with.
It really is pretty horrible, isn't it? You want to know something? This suitcase was designed by Miss Rhoda.
Miss Tenero designed this.
Yeah, it was a company-wide contest.
Well, it does have a very sharp design sense.
Sharp? Like stinky sharp cheddar, maybe? I really have no idea why the bigwigs decided to go with it. It's so... blah.
Miss Toneto designed this, did she? It's definitely not what I would have expected. Jesus Christ! What is going on?
You okay?
I'm fine. Please watch yourself, Miss Meal. Letting a suitcase freely roll around has got to be a safety violation.
Here, I'll put it back. All done. Nothing ever happened.
Inside the display case is a row of lifesavers and life vests for sale.
You sell a lot of those when there's some kind of accident or something. But some people buy them even when nothing's going on. How about it, Mr. Edgeworth? Here to buy one?
I sense that this shop is one shopper away from being sued. Beautiful flowers and a beautiful arrangement. I feel cleansed just by looking at them.
Well, you're kind of stepping on a few of them, you know, Mr. Edgeworth.
Oh, excuse me. Can I look at the stuff on the floor? No? There's a wide selection of souvenirs for sale in these display cases.
You know what I'd suggest?
Sorry, but I have no intention of buying souvenirs on this trip.
Okay, then how about you buy something for me then, as a present?
I can't think of a single reason why I'd want to buy you anything.
But I've had my eye on that pendant for such a long time.
Try paying some attention to me when I ask you something, and then we'll talk. The glass from this display case's door is shattered all over the floor. And it looks like there's nothing on display inside either. Wait, actually, I think there is something. What's this? A mini captain's hat. Stuffed toys, just like the one Miss Meal is holding, are on display here. They're relatively cheap, which explains why they're displayed so haphazardly.
How about it, Mr. Edgeworth? You know you want one too. They're great for when you're stressed.
Why do I envision stuffed animal abuse when she says that?
I don't know much about this shop, but you can still ask me about whatever.
Notice anything? So, what do you think about what has happened regarding the case?
I don't know. I guess I think you're the killer though, Mr. Edgeworth.
I can assure you that I'm here in this shop to prove just the opposite.
Yeah, but it was me that got you the permission to look around. You know? So don't forget that, okay?
How am I supposed to thank you properly if you insist on falling asleep?
Well, you know what really show your thanks? You see that item for sale over there?
Sorry, but you're going to have to make do with my words of appreciation. So, the hat, I assume, is usually on the bank? Right? The hat probably used to be on the piggy bank. Used to be on the piggy bank's head. Let's give it a go and see. I believe this piggy bank was forcibly removed from this display case. Does this mean that the killer broke the glass to get it? To get at it?
Really?
Don't tell me you don't know what things go where in... Don't tell me you don't know what things go where in this shop.
Well, I don't. Miss Rhoda's in charge of this place. So come on, how should I know anything?
I sense that further inspection of this display case is needed. Okay. Whoops. Hold up. Click. Rest television. Glass on the door is broken. Perhaps it was the killer who broke it in order to take the piggy bank. It's a bit odd that the inside of the case is so devoid of glass shards. Plus, the glass broke rather cleanly.
Ah!
What is it?
I touched the glass and I cut my finger. It hurts, Mr. Edgeworth, it hurts.
Please tell me you can deal with such a minor cut on your own.
It hurts, Mr. Edgeworth.
Is this the same man as the one portrayed by the statues around the elevator?
Yeah, that's the paperweight of the founder of Goyo Airlines, Mr. Ugo Hughes. On the bottom shelf, we have the cute one. The middle shelf's the realistic one. And on the top shelf, that's the floral version.
Floral? Are you sure about that? Let me guess. You just said the first thing that came to your mind, right? Looks like I hit the bullseye.
A floral pattern. Woo.
For security, there's a lock on the display case. Miss Meal, if I may ask you about this lock.
The one who's in charge of the shop's Miss Rhoda, so she's got the keys to all the display cases.
I see.
Oh, I bet you want to buy something. Do you want me to go get the key from her?
No, that's alright. Goyo Airlines related books find this shelf. The history of Goyo Airlines, the future of Goyo Airlines, 7 wonders of Goyo, Phaeton Goyo Airlines, working name, Yugo Airline. You! I guess it is Go You. The titles make it very clear that they won't be making the top sellers list anytime soon. Okay. Point, broken glass. Piggy bank. It crashed.
Eureka!
There's definitely something very unusual about this.
About what?
If the killer had broken the glass to get at the Captain Ugo bank, there should be shards of glass inside the case itself.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I guess it'd be like that.
However, there's not a single piece of glass inside the display case.
Nope. No, there isn't.
Which means that the glass was broken from the inside out. The piggy bank must have fallen over from the turbulence and right through the glass.
Yeah, that's for sure. There's so much glass all over the floor.
I'm willing to bet that this hat was knocked off its head at the time, too.
Huh? That's nice.
Which leads me to believe that the killer took the Captain Ugo bank from here after the turbulence. Take your power naps on your own time, Miss Mule, and listen when I'm talking.
Ah,
But the murder occurred before the turbulence, which rules this piggy bank out as the murder weapon.
so you mean the bank's not the real murder weapon? It's a fake?
Yes, at this point, that is a very real possibility.
But then what if when the killer went to take Captain Ugo? They broke the glass by accident.
The display case is locked, so that's highly unlikely.
Yeah, but there's one person who could've.
Oh, and who would that be?
Miss Rhoda, of course. I mean, she's the one in charge of this place, so she has the keys to everything.
Miss Rhoda Tenero, huh? Turbulence. Plane shaking. Was the suitcase what broke it? Yes, there is definitely something wrong here.
What's with the sudden yelling?
Tell me, Miss Neal, don't you think there's something strange about these suitcases?
Oh, well, sure. They totally ooze strange. Like the color and such.
That's not what I'm talking about. Now pay attention.
You're scaring me, Mr. Edgeworth.
Sorry. These suitcases are lined up a bit too prime and proper.
Yeah, they look a bit uptight, don't they? And I guess they take after their creator.
Again, that's not what I meant, Miss Neal. Don't you find it unusual that these cases are the only things undisturbed by the turbulence? Never mind. I'd sooner find an answer by inspecting the suitcases myself. Upon closer inspection, they really are quite hideous.
I wonder how Miss Rhoda would have reacted if she heard what you just said. What's wrong?
She makes a good point. It would be wise of me to watch what I say out loud. What's this? I spotted something that's not quite right. What's so unusual about the suitcase?
This one has little stoppers, and this one doesn't. Do I hit the one with stoppers or the one without stoppers?
Take that!
Something very peculiar about these wheels.
Huh? As in...
As in, there are no stoppers in place on these. Without stoppers, one would think that the turbulence would have sent it flying. And so, it is very likely that the suitcase was placed here after we heard the turbulence. After we hit the turbulence. Let's take a closer look at it, shall we? God, it really is ugly. This was apparently designed by Miss Tenero herself. The design has a certain je ne sais quoi about it. Yes, perhaps that is the best way to put it. These creepy lemur things. A $1,200 price tag. Not exactly priced by someone with a conscience, I'd say. Can I look at these really ugly lemur things? Why is the one... What's this? The wheel is completely covered in something. This color and this scent. It appears the substance in question is grape juice. Okay. That's the drag mark by the elevator. But why would there be juice on a wheel of a suitcase? It would appear to be unlocked. Let's take a look at what's inside. The heck? Piece of cloth. And it's soaked with blood.
It's blood!
It appears that this suitcase is very strongly tied to our murder after all. Boo 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 boo.
So, explain this to me. What does the suitcase have to do with the murder?
I believe it's pretty safe to say that the killer used this suitcase in some manner. Such as to move something, perhaps.
But aren't you just talking about the cloth then?
That alone is too small. A larger item would be needed to move what I'm thinking of. The thing I believe the killer used this suitcase to transport is... this... bank.
Take that!
No, not the bank. Oops. Miss Meal, wake up.
Huh? Did you say something just now, Mr. Edgeworth? I mean, I don't know, but I don't think that's it.
Oh, this... No, I was just seeing if you were awake. My real explanation begins now. She really asleep. The thing... So, they put... his body was in the suitcase?
Take that!
Something that would fit inside a suitcase that is also covered in blood. Sounds like a dead body, doesn't it? Beautiful pattern.
But...
In light of this, I'd say that Mr. Hicks was moved into the elevator from someplace else. Which means that the murder was committed in an entirely different location.
So, you're saying that after moving the body into the elevator, the killer brought the suitcase in here and just left it?
Exactly. What is it?
Nothing. Just that. I was thinking about what Miss Rhoda said about coming here for something.
Excuse me, Mr. Edgeworth. I wanted to give you a bit more time, but I'm afraid I wasn't able to convince the captain. I'm very sorry, Mr. Edgeworth, but the captain feels that he has allowed you ample time. He says that he'd appreciate it if you could wrap it up here and return to your seat. I understand his sentiments. However, if I'm not allowed to complete my investigation, the crime scene may become contaminated by the time we land. If I must stop, then I insist I be allowed to oversee the preservation of the two sites. Under your supervision, of course.
If that's your only condition, then I believe we can accommodate your wishes. I'm here to assist you in any way that I can, Mr. Edgeworth. Sounds like fun. We can camp out and watch over everything together.
I found proof that the real crime scene was not in the lounge, and I have enough evidence to prove myself to be innocent of any wrongdoing. And yet, regarding what Miss Meal reminded me about Miss Tenero, I can't allow my investigation to end here. The truth must come to light.
We continue.
March 12th, 1 p.m. local time, Hope Springs Airport. Does that girl have an oxygen tank on her back? I know that once we had landed, I'm supposed to let the local police take over. And thanks to Miss Tenero and Miss Meal, I was able to preserve the crime scene. But I just can't shake it. I wasn't able to talk with Miss Tenero in private. So I'm left wondering just what she was up to. Why did she do what she did? There must be a way for me to continue my investigation.
I've been expecting you, Miles Edgeworth. Franziska!
Franziska, I thought you were still in Germany.
I go where I am needed. And wherever there are criminals to be caught.
Her name is Franziska von Karma. The daughter of my mentor, Manfred von Karma. She, like myself, is a prosecutor. Are you heading up this case? It would be a bit of a relief if you are.
Don't you try to flatter me, Miles Edgeworth. I'm placing you under arrest.
What?
It's quite frustrating, actually. I had hoped to exact my revenge on you in a different venue. But I'll have to take what I could get. I never thought I'd see the day when a disciple of the House of Bound Karma would become a criminal. Have you no shame?
Wait, it's all a big misunderstanding. I didn't kill the victim.
A misunderstanding? I heard all about the murder over the police radio from the captain himself. You waited for the victim on the first floor, and then beat him to death.
Francisca, do you honestly believe that I killed a man?
I suppose I should reserve judgment until after I have investigated this for myself. I can put your arrest on hold until then.
That's as it should be.
Sorry, one sec.
Let's all gaze upon Francisca. That's as it should be.
I don't need a lecture on how to perform my duties from you, of all people. To be perfect in every way, the fulfillment of that creed alone is all I strive for.
Well, I have my own creed which I must fulfill, so why don't we solve this together?
I have to get going. The crime scene awaits. Don't you dare leave town.
Trust me, I had no intention to.
Detective Gumshoe!
Yes, sir.
Too slow.
Ow!
Listen up. I'm leaving you in charge of watching this man. Don't mess up, understand?
Mr. Edgeworth, I'm supposed to guard him?
A simple yes or no, Detective.
Yes, sir. Understood, sir. You just leave it to me.
Miles Edgeworth. If you interfere with my investigation, I'll arrest you on the spot. Are we clear? Now then, if you'll excuse me.
Good to see you again, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Boy, am I glad to see you're okay. Thank you, Detective. I believe in you, sir. You can lean on me. I'll get you through this. I have to admit, I'm a bit curious as to what Francisca is up to. Maybe I should ask the good detective. Very well. In that case, I have a few questions for you.
Initial investigation.
So, how's the initial investigation going? We just shipped the body off to the coroner's office. And we're taking statements now, sir. That sounds like Francisca. She was always good at quick responses to a case. I'd say she was, a little too quick, sir. Oh, how so? I rushed on over as soon as I got word of the affair, sir. But somehow, when I got here, Miss Von Karma was already here barking out orders at everyone. It was kinda creepy, as though she knew there had been a murder or something. And come in advance to wait your flight's arrival. That is sort of odd. She did show up rather quickly, and out of the blue. Plus, I still don't know why she's here in America. There must be some backstory to all of this.
Francisca.
Miss Von Karma just kinda popped up at the prosecutor's office about a week ago, sir. Something about chasing down leads related to a certain incident. No details. It's kinda top secret, so she can't talk about it, even with me, sir. Knowing her, the only type of talking she likes to do is with her whip. Plus, I doubt the top secret part was what stopped her from talking to you, Detective. Although, I wonder if her case has anything to do with mine. Anyway, that's about all the info I have, sir. We should find out more to investigate. Yes, it is high time to resume my investigation. Started with talking to the people involved in this case afresh. I probably should have talked to the people before coming in, but... March 12th, 1:37 p.m., Flight G390, second floor, first class.
So, you must be the captain.
Why, yes, I am. And who might you be?
I am the prodigy prosecutor, Franziska von Karma, and I have a few questions for you. Don't you dare, Captain. Getting friendly with another woman. I'll never forgive you if you do.
What are you talking about? I only have eyes for you, my dear Cammy. I wouldn't bet money on our dear captain to be much of a reputable person. So you don't want to ask the captain some questions, sir? He was in the cockpit the entire time. I highly doubt he would know anything of use. Anyway, I like to leave that type of witness to Franziska and our whip. Ah. March 12th, 1:40 p.m., Flight G390, first floor lounge. Now see here! Ah! Sorry, I'm sorry! How long do you intend to hold me? It's impossible for me to be the criminal, I told you! Mr. LeBlanc. Oh, it is you. Tell this man to stop stopping me from going. Time is money. I don't have even 1 second of wasteful time to spend. This was my seat. Wow, you read law books even when you're flying, sir? Were you expecting anything less? Now come along, we must hurry to the crime scene. Huh? Hold on a sec. There's a different book stuck in here. The Steel Samurai's Detective Gumshoe. Am I going to have to charge you with invasion of privacy? Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, I think you have too many red knights on the board. It's just your imagination. It looks like that blue pawn is being completely surrounded by the red knights. Now you're seeing things. Sir, I don't think you're supposed to have lots of the same piece like in checkers. I know that, Detective. What do you take me for?
Can I go talk to the people outside? I'm curious.
What a view of the planes preparing for takeoff. I want to ride a plane someday and go overseas. Have you never been to another country before, Detective? Nope, not yet, sir. I don't even have a passport. But I've been saving up for that eventual someday. A penny a day to be precise. At that rate, he won't be making any trips until well after retirement. This child seems to be happily enjoying the sight of so many planes. I'm all excited to see this many planes, too. Just look at the size of these things.
Do you like planes too, mister? The balance between the main wings and the tail wings is really something, huh?
It seems that this child derives his pleasure from a different aspect. But I also got a thing for the shape of the wings, too.
Here, mister, you can stand next to me. How about that plane's wing?
Thank you, Detective, for leaving me out of this conversation. Looking from behind, I think I've seen this man somewhere before. In Soviet Russia, world flag's lunchboxes eat... Joe... Mr. Edgeworth, we gotta get him some water.
Found it. Lol. Oh, I feel a wave of creative power is coming on. It's over 9,000 lols. For my next movie, it's gonna be the Steel Samurai Warrior of Neo Old Tokyo versus the World Samurai Champion of Earth. It's gonna roar. What? Gonna roar. Rock swords. So many bark. Swords. Rock, so many bot. Good thing it was a false alarm, right, Mr. Edgeworth? So the Steel Samurai is finally getting a movie. Completely ignoring me, as usual. I have never seen that rocks whatever in my life. This man was in first class with me, quite shaken up about the whole affair. I'd be pretty scared too if I got caught up in a murder investigation, sir. I did it. I made it to the whole flight. I'm not scared of turbulence anymore. This life vest is proof I made it alive. It's now my prized possession. How could you just take that from the plane? It's okay, Mr. Edgeworth. It's got nothing to do with the murder, at least. Lunchland. Not bad. I guess it's gotten big enough to warrant its own brunch shops. I always wanted to give their steak lunch a try. What should I go with? I recommend our airport special World Flags lunchboxes, only available for a limited time. We have a variety of lunchboxes made up to look like different countries' flags.
If you really want one that badly, Detective, why don't you go ahead and buy one? Is that okay, sir? Thanks. Alright, then I'm really gonna get one. Here I go. Excuse me, miss. I'll take a Star-Spangled Banner lunchbox, please. I hope he's aware that that's the most expensive one on the menu.
Okay, that everything?
I can't believe there's no one manning the counter when a murder's just occurred. Relax, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm here. I'll make sure nothing else happens. You're precisely why I can't relax. If I may have a word with you, Miss Meal.
No, you may not have a word with me. I don't want to talk to any other man except for the captain right now.
Me too, Cammy. I'll never talk to another woman. This definitely looks like a job for Franziska. What did I ever do to deserve this? More than this job, all I truly love is my sweet Cammy. Might I suggest you not say that at this moment in front of Franziska? Franziska, I'd like to ask you about the investigation.
Miles Edgeworth, can't you see that I'm in the middle of taking his statement? This man is only captain in title. I'm going to teach him to do his job properly.
Ow! Okay, from now on, I'll keep my focus and take my responsibility seriously. He's really trembling there. If it makes him take his job seriously, it's not such a bad thing, is it? Why are you looking at me like that, sir? Did you finish taking his statement yet? Yep, all done, sir. I do not concern if you're not done examining the cargo hold. I want my cargo back. There you go. If you make a single scratch on my art, you will pay... Art? What sort of art? Mr. LeBlanc is an art dealer, so he's got a bunch of artwork down in the cargo hold, sir. There's practically a mountain of them, large and small. From folk costumes to stone statues, I sell all kinds of arts. Folk costumes? Speaking of which, Mr. LeBlanc's hat. It kind of looks like that other piece of cloth. Whoops.
For there to be this much blood on this piece of cloth, is the victim wrapped in it at some point? There's something very familiar about this pattern.
Mr. LeBlanc, can you please take a look at this for me? Oh, it's a Bourguignon cloth. As I suspected, your hat is made of the same material, I suppose. Yes, of course. This fabric is so famous. Orders come from over the seas for more. And this is the cargo you were talking about earlier. No. My cargo this time is many gigantic. You, detective, when can I have my cargo moved? You can get your cargo back when we're done investigating, pal. The stubbornness of you police. It is no good. It is no good that attendant refuses to exit the attendance room, too. That attendant. I wonder if he's talking about Miss Tenero. What did you mean by that attendant, Mr. LeBlanc? She was taken into the attendance room for her interview, and then they still have not come out. They make no sign of coming out either. I was finished with my own interview much earlier, quicker than her. Why is Miss Tenero's interview the only one that's taking up so much time?
Miles Edgeworth, you were given free rein to examine the plane, weren't you?
Yes, I was able to obtain the cooperation of the flight attendants. Speaking of attendants, I'd like to speak with Miss Tenero. I wonder if you might grant me permission to enter the flight attendant's room.
Before I do, you still have to clear up a few issues surrounding your own circumstances.
I understand.
You may have tricked those attendants with your sophisticated talking. But you can't pull the wool over my eyes, Miles Edgeworth.
Franziska's logic.
Let's not complicate things and go with the most obvious conclusion. The scene of the crime was here, in the very lounge the body was discovered. From the time the victim was seen calling for an attendant until his body was found. The only person in this lounge the entire time was you, Miles Edgeworth. This, unmistakably, makes you the likeliest suspect.
The likeliest suspect, Franziska.
Do you have a problem with that?
No, but it's not like you to use such vague wording. You're usually a bit more absolute.
I'm simply trying to watch out for you. Or is my kindness too hard for you to comprehend?
Thank you, but your leniency is unnecessary, for I will prove my innocence soon enough. If I want to continue my investigation, I'll have to break her line of logic fast.
Complicate things.
Scene of the crime is here.
Nuh-uh.
Objection!
It would appear that you did not have all the information you needed after all.
And what does that mean?
I found a nice piece of evidence just before I was forced to stop investigating. A piece that proves that the body was moved from a different location. The killer used this suitcase to move the victim's body, meaning that the real scene of the crime is not this lounge at all.
Objection!
Now who's the one rashly jumping to conclusions?
Excuse me?
All you did was find this piece of cloth inside the suitcase. That doesn't prove that the body was moved. It could be that the killer simply chose that suitcase as a good place to hide the cloth.
I expected you would come to that conclusion. It would seem I can't escape that easily.
You should know better than that. Von Karma is perfect in every way.
But did you know that the killer definitely wheeled the suitcase around at some point?
Objection!
As if there is proof of that.
Where's the proof that the suitcase was moved?
Take that!
You spilled grape juice in front of the elevator.
Yes, and I'd like to draw your attention to this area here. Where's the evidence that proves the killer dragged the suitcase?
Is this good enough?
Take that!
This mark here, when you say that it looks suspiciously like tracks from two wheels.
I suppose.
Further, there's also grape juice residue on the wheels of the suitcase. This means that the suitcase containing the victim's body definitely passed through here.
I suppose this means that the killer did move the victim's body from somewhere else.
I'm glad you come to your senses.
Objection!
Not so fast. This still doesn't put you in the clear. Not by a long shot. Part 2. You prepared yourself and acquired the piggy bank before the plane hit the turbulence. And then you waited for the victim in the lounge where you beat him to death. Then, while you were in the elevator with the victim's body stuffed into the suitcase, the plane hit that patch of turbulence and out flew the body from within the suitcase. With no way out, you hastily put the suitcase back where you had taken it from, and pretended to be the discoverer of the body. Discoverer.
Not a bad bit of logic for something you thought of on the fly.
Just what are you insinuating?
But I will show you exactly how flawed your logic is. No matter how strong of a face you put on, not even you can hide your fears from me. I'll expose the flaws in her logic in one fell swoop.
You prepared yourself. Taken after the turbulence.
Objection!
The fact that you took this piece of evidence into account in your testimony is to be commended. Your legal prowess is certainly something to be feared.
Evidence and logic. Essential tools that those who would stand in the courtroom must learn to master.
But what if there was a fake piece of evidence thrown into the mix?
A fake?
This Captain Ugo piggy bank is just such a fake. It's not the real murder weapon.
What?
The timing of when the bank was taken from the shop is important. And it was taken after the turbulence had occurred.
But then, what about the blood on the bank? What do you make of that?
I assume it was added after the murder when the killer fabricated this weapon. Looking at it this way, the killer basically did 3 things after the turbulence. After exiting the elevator, the killer brought the suitcase to the shop and left it there. Then the killer proceeded to pick the bank up from off the floor and took it to fabricate a fake murder weapon by hitting the victim on the head. Finally, the victim's wallet was planted on my personage, in my pocket to be precise. Everything was done so that I would be framed for the murder of Mr. Ackby Hicks.
You there!
Yes, ma'am?
Other than this piggy bank, was anything else resembling a murder weapon found?
We didn't find anything in the lounge or in the shop that could be used as one, ma'am. Most of the items that could have been used were broken during the turbulence. And the remaining items all tested negative for any trace of blood.
I see. Well, Miles Edgeworth, it appears your stall tactics are at an end.
But it's possible that it's just hidden somewhere, sir.
If the criminal had wanted to hide the weapon in a safer place, I think the weapon would have been hidden in the same place as the bloody cloth.
Exactly what I was thinking. Because the cloth was hidden inside that suitcase, it signals to me that the killer had not prepared a more secure place to hide the evidence. Which means that the real murder weapon is either still in the murderer's personage, or is still at the real crime scene.
Objection!
There's one more possibility.
And that would be...
That the piggy bank is in fact the real weapon.
But didn't we just...
Let me finish. The killer took the bank out from the display case before the turbulence by opening the lock on the display case door. And it was at that time that the glass pane in the door was broken. I'd say that's a perfectly reasonable line of reasoning, wouldn't you? Let's see. So that means that the killer had the key to the display case.
Franziska, the person you're talking about.
Not so fast. I'm not finished. The person I'm talking about also committed another sin. She tricked the captain. And granted your permission to conduct your investigation. Yes, it's the sin of lying. Speaking of which, I recall that you also wished to speak with her.
Yes.
Very well. Permission granted, but only if I can sit in on your interrogation. Do we understand each other?
I have no intention of interrogating her, but you are welcome to accompany me if you so wish.
Miss Tenero is in the flight attendant's room. Let's move.
Okay.
March 12th, 2:23 p.m. Flight attendant room. So, you are the one that poked around inside this plane without the captain's permission. Deviating from the flight attendant's manual is very unbecoming, you know. What were you hoping to accomplish by doing that?
Miss Tenero.
Mr. Edgeworth, you're here too?
Can you please help us and shed some light on why you did what you did?
Alright.
Why did you lie about receiving the captain's permission like that?
Because I didn't think I would be able to get his permission.
What do you mean?
The captain, he only has ears for Cammy. I spoke with the captain a little earlier myself. He definitely seems to be rather taken with Miss Meal. Yes, and on top of that, I had mistakenly accused Mr. Edgeworth of being the killer. I wanted to make amends.
In that case, please allow me to thank you for what you did. Thanks to you, I was able to clear myself of all charges.
Really? You were able to prove your innocence? Oh, thank goodness. Miss Tenero, is it? There's one more thing I'd like to ask you. You were in the in-flight shop just before the turbulence, weren't you? Please answer honestly. Yes, I was. And why were you there? Well,
Why the sudden hesitation? Franziska seems to have struck a nerve.
All I did was go check up on the shop like I always do. You're saying it was for work, then? Yes, I'm in charge of the shop, so I have to keep an eye on it. I don't have any reason to go there otherwise. After your visit to the shop, you paid a visit to this room, correct? Yes, I came back to freshen up and adjust my makeup. I'm sorry, but there isn't much else to tell.
Miss Tenero claims to have no reason other than duty to go to the shop. But is that all there is to it? Maybe I should ask her about that thing. If you could please take a look at this for me, Miss Tenero.
Oh, that suitcase.
Yes, about this suitcase. You're the one who designed it, correct? And I think I figured something else out about it. This suitcase is the reason you went to the shop, isn't it?
There's nothing you won't find out eventually, is there?
Won't you please tell me more about the suitcase?
Yes, I was interested in seeing how the suitcases I had designed were selling. I know that as a service professional, I'm not supposed to care. But I really wanted to know. And I was glad to see that it was the last one there.
The last one there? So you're saying, Miss Tenedo, that the suitcase in question was the last one?
Yes, they're just so popular, they're practically flying off the shelves.
Literally, that's not exactly the impression I got.
The one in the shop is most definitely the last one.
Well, we're currently looking at that suitcase.
Really? Then I guess we sold all of them. Thank you very much for taking the last one.
I didn't say anything about buying it.
Then say you'll buy it.
I'm sorry, I can't.
But why? I think it'd go great with your complexion, Mr. Edgeworth. It really suits you. I guarantee it personally as a service professional.
Well, that is... how should I put this? It's hideous.
Oh.
Maybe that was a bit too direct. Moving on, my issue with the suitcases isn't the design, it's the number of them remaining.
Remaining?
There were 2 suitcases in the in-flight shop when I investigated it.
2? But that's impossible. I'm sure there was only one. Looks like her story has generated quite the contradiction. When I left the shop, I'm positive there was only one suitcase left.
Something is amiss here. What could be the meaning of this inconsistency? By the way, Miss Tenedo, what is one of those suitcases doing here?
That's...
I thought you said there was only one left.
That one is... It's mine. I've used it for a long time now.
She used it for a long time. I think not. Miss Tenedo, I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't lie to me.
Excuse me?
I don't believe for even 1 second that you've used this for a very long time.
What proves that this hasn't been used for nearly as long as Miss Tenedo says?
Take that!
Tell me, Miss Tenedo, is it also your habit to keep the price tag pristine on your suitcase?
What is the meaning of this? Why would you lie about a suitcase?
Despite having faith in her design sense, the sales numbers made her cry bitter tears. The truth is becoming increasingly clear to me. Miss Tenedo, I think I understand. I know what you are trying to hide. Now then, this suitcase was originally in... shop. Seeing as how the price tag is still in the suitcase, one can only assume it was out on the floor for sale in the shop. And the person who bought the suitcase was... Where are you? You!
Take that!
It was you, wasn't it, Miss Tenedo? I hate to say this, but the suitcase that you designed... it hasn't sold very well, has it? You saw how poorly this design that you poured your heart into was selling, and were deeply hurt. That's why you wanted to make it look like it was selling by buying it yourself. Isn't that right?
Then, the reason you went to the shop and came back here was... I'm sorry. All I really have is my job. I was overjoyed when my design was chosen. I thought that maybe I had finally accomplished something.
But the suitcases didn't sell.
It's because of the design, isn't it? Well, because it's, as you put it, hideous.
I can't say they chose a great place in which to sell them either.
They weren't selling a single one, and they were just sitting there collecting dust. I felt so bad seeing them there, day in and day out. So I decided to buy one for every flight I worked.
You buy one every single time you work a flight.
I see. So, in order to keep your resolution, you went and bought one today as well. Yes, and here's my receipt for the purchase.
This receipt is clearly time-stamped 5:40 a.m.
The truth is, there's still a bunch of them left unsold. They're planning to scrap the remaining ones at the end of the flight.
Miss Tenero, where are these other suitcases?
They should all be down in the cargo hold. And the suitcase the killer used
Could very well have come from the cargo hold.
Mr. Edgeworth, you don't think that the killer used one of my suitcases to...
Yes, I do. The killer used one of your beloved suitcases to move the victim's body.
How could they? Those suitcases were meant to be faithful partners to our passengers on this trip. On their trips. That's all I ever wished for them to be.
Miss Tenero, is there any other way to get to the cargo hold other than the elevator?
The only other way is just through that door there.
And what about security?
That door has no special lock installed because... just to enter this room, you need a special keycard that only crew members have access to.
Which means that the culprit is someone who can enter this room, eliminating the passengers and leaving only crew members as potential suspects.
I can't believe it.
Yes, Franziska?
Going on these wild goose chases. You're a disgrace to the Von Karma name.
And what do you mean by that?
The suitcase came from the cargo hold. The fact alone tells the whole story.
Yes, which is why I said the culprit must be a crew member who used their keycard.
Miles Edgeworth, you are proposing that the killer rode the elevator from the cargo hold, correct?
Yes, that's the only realistic possibility.
That other attendant, Miss Mule. I asked her earlier, and she had this to say.
Franziska got information out of Miss Mule.
In order to make the elevator go down to the cargo hold, a different keycard is required.
A different one?
Yes, and the only person who holds that particular card is you, Miss Rhoda Tenero, and only you.
What? Is this true, Miss Tenero?
Yes, I keep the keycard in my locker at all times.
Could you please show us that card right now?
Yes, hold on. I don't believe it.
What's wrong?
The keycard, it's gone. Very clever. Pretending that your card was stolen when in fact you're just trying to hide it from us. You've really thought this through. Oh, wait, it's not like that. You can tell us all about what it's like down at the station. Officer, arrest this woman.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Edgeworth. What's wrong? There's disbelief written all over your face.
Franziska, I know that you are the lead investigator on this case. However...
Hold it. Don't even think about wasting any more of my time. You know the rules as well as I do. Evidence speaks louder than words. Even if this isn't a courtroom, that basic tenet still applies. I intend to investigate the cargo hold now. What will you do, Miles Edgeworth?
I intend to do likewise.
March 12th to 52 p.m. Lower deck, cargo hold.
Wow, so this is a cargo hold, huh? It's so big!
Where?
This plane is a special model. It has both a super large cargo hold and ultra luxurious first class seating.
So, is this the real scene of the murder?
There's certainly a high probability of that, which is why we are here, correct? Okay, let's get investigating, sir. You arrived at the scene of the crime before Detective Gumshoe, correct? And you then immediately began to direct the investigation. It seems to me that you were already here at this airport for something besides this murder.
Yes, I was. Why? I've been following a very large and involved governmental-level international crime. But it's much too large for one person to take on alone. So it was decided that I should form a joint investigation with Interpol.
Interpol is involved?
It's a top-secret operation, so I really can't tell you any more than I already have. Interpol.
Holy suitcases, Mr. Edgeworth. It's like an all-you-can-use suitcase fair. These must be all the leftover ones that couldn't sell. The ones the company is planning to dispose of after this flight is over. This paint job's really cool, don't you think? Practically screams artsy. Oh, why not purchase one then? I'm sure it'll bring you much happiness. You think so? Then maybe I will. Let's see here. $1,200! I think I'll pass. And Miss Tonetto wonders why they don't sell. You need 2 jobs just to buy one. Although, it definitely looks like one is missing. What is this brittle substance I'm stepping on? It's a bunch of glass fragments. Hey, what's with the suitcase, pal? It's what the victim checked in, sir. So this suitcase belonged to Mr. Hicks. I don't think he'd mind if we took a closer look. There's nothing out of the ordinary in here, sir. Wait, a file. And there's a photo of Miss Von Karma in it, sir. It looks like a profile on Franziska. Why would Mr. Hicks have a file on her? Okay, Franziska. Okay, so... Mr. Hicks is her liaison? Or she's working with him? Now, why would Mr. Hicks have documents profiling Franziska? I know. I bet he's a big fan of Miss Von Karma, sir. Franziska said that she had come to this airport as part of an Interpol investigation. Maybe Mr. Hicks had heard she was coming here and he followed her. Detective, I think it's more likely that Mr. Hicks was, in actuality, Interpol Agent Hicks. I think Franziska has some explaining to do.
Glasses?
I think we can safely conclude that these fragments are from a pair of glasses. And the victim was wearing a pair of broken glasses. Exactly what I was thinking. I'm sure that the shards would match up perfectly with the remnants of his glasses lenses. Ergo, the victim was here, just as I suspected. So you're saying that the real scene of the crime was here, sir? Isn't that what I've been saying for a while now? Is it? I didn't know that. Perhaps it's a bit early to draw that conclusion. However, I believe that the probability has just skyrocketed considerably. All that's left is to find the murder weapon. You came to this airport to rendezvous with the victim, didn't you?
Nonsense! What are you talking about?
We found a profile detailing information about you in the victim's luggage. I suppose it was prepared for him so that he could recognize you when he landed. Which makes him not Mr. Hicks, but rather Interpol Agent Hicks. Isn't that correct?
I should have known you'd figure it out, Miles. But it looks like they got to him first.
So you really did come here to receive an Interpol agent, then?
Yes. Agent Hicks was on the trail of a very large international smuggling ring. He went undercover to investigate this crime. And it was I who put him on this case. I was supposed to receive a call from him on his cell phone once he had landed. I never expected to receive a call about his murder instead.
I think we now have pretty definitive evidence that Agent Hicks came down here to the cargo hold. Well, what was he doing down here, sir? There's nothing but luggage. Ah, I get it. Maybe he forgot something in his suitcase and came down to get it. Ow!
Agent Hicks came here for a work-related reason. Of that, I'm sure.
Yes, I'm sure he was here to investigate the smuggling operation he was observing. Francisca, do you know exactly how he intended to pursue his investigation?
No. Unfortunately, I was going to find out from him after he landed.
I see. But this raises another question. A normal passenger can't access the cargo hold on their own.
Agent Hicks must have identified himself to a member of the crew and entered the cargo hold with that person who let him in.
Yes, and then he was murdered here. These glass fragments and his broken glasses are a testament to that. And then...
The killer put Agent Hicks into one of the spare suitcases and...
They entered the elevator, but while they were righting it up, the plane hit that patch of turbulence. Because of the intense shaking, the suitcase popped open, and Agent Hicks' body flew out. At the same time, his wallet fell out of his pocket, spilling its contents everywhere. Which explains why there was money scattered all over the elevator floor.
I think it's pretty easy to say who the culprit is at this stage.
What? Really, sir?
I know what you're thinking, Miles Edgeworth. But the killer can be none other than Miss Rhoda Tenero.
Definitive evidence.
If it was a crew member, any one of them could have shown Agent Hicks to the cargo hold. But the point to keep in mind is the key card that allows the elevator to come down here. The only person with such high-level access is Miss Rhoda Tenero. I'd say that's a pretty decisive piece of information, wouldn't you?
I know what she's trying to say, but I'm not certain it's as simple as that. The crew number...
Hold it!
And it's highly likely that the keycard was stolen from Miss Tenero.
Objection!
It's highly likely. Is that possibility the best you can come up with? And you call yourself a disciple of my father?
Yes, well, while I don't have any evidence,
Be quiet. You're a disgrace. There's more evidence pointing to Miss Rhoda Tenero, you know. It's not just the keycard that gives her away.
Are you talking about the murder weapon, the Captain Ugo piggy bank?
Yes, she's also the only person with a key to open that display case. Further, there's the matter of the key to the display case that held the murderous bank.
Hold it!
But that is a fake...
Stop right there, Miles Edgeworth. You don't have any proof that this is just a red herring. If you must keep on insisting that it's a fake, then what is the real murder weapon, and where did it go? Speechless, I see. That's not a surprise. After all, you know that we've searched the entire cargo hold and keep them empty-handed.
There must be a way. There must be something that can help me rule out the piggy bank as the murder weapon. What should we examine further to help us ascertain the authenticity of the weapon?
Body.
Francesca, I think you were too quick to jump to your conclusions.
Oh, was I?
Yes, we don't even have the autopsy results yet. How can I not say that you made a snap judgment when you have yet to even see? If the wound on Agent Hicks's head is consistent with the murder weapon...
It's Scruffy!
Yes, sir?
Contact the medical examiner's office at once! I wish to hear the results of Agent Hicks's autopsy.
Yes, sir. We got a big problem, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. What is it, Detective? They're still doing the autopsy, but they said that they already know this one thing for sure.
Report, now!
The doc said that it's one giant bruise from a beating from his shoulder down to his mid-back. From the victim's shoulder to his mid-back. He was beaten over such a wide area. Well, I'd say maybe it's a sign the killer had a grudge against Agent Hicks. More than just his head. The killer went all out and hit him multiple times, sir.
Scruffy, what is had a grudge against Agent Hicks supposed to mean?
Well, that's, Was the wound on the victim's head consistent with the murder weapon, Detective? Well, they said that they're still looking into that, sir.
You're completely useless.
Ow! Sir, I told you already, you can't go down there.
No, you remove yourself from my way.
What is all that racket?
My luggage, my cargo, they're mine, and I demand you return them to me.
We're still investigating the cargo hold. Please understand and have a little patience. I suppose there's no choice. Finally, I think he gave— Hey, what are you—
You've left me no choice but to use strong force.
You won't get past me. Oop. This is— Wait, that's it. So that's what this whole thing has been about.
Further, there's the matter of the key to the display case at held the murderous bank. After all, you know that we've searched the entire cargo hold and came up empty-handed.
The doc said that it's one giant bruise from a beating from his shoulder down to his mid-back. Excessive bruising. Is this not the murder weapon? Allegedly, the killer struck the victim many times over, which is why there is extensive bruising over such a wide area. But is that really the correct conclusion to draw from the evidence? The bruise from his shoulder to the middle of his back is one continuous mark, which is more suggestive of single blow to the back. If that's the case, then the piggy bank is much too small to have caused that. Therefore, the murder weapon must be something far bigger.
Weapon can't be found, and it's big.
If we're looking for a rather large weapon, you'd think it would stick out. But so far, we haven't found anything that resembles a weapon of any sort. Perhaps, just perhaps, it's something we have all overlooked from the very beginning. Because normally, it's too impossibly big to be taken into consideration. What was that all about? Was he trying to jump his way down here? Francesca?
What? What do you want?
I found it, Francesca. I found the real murder weapon.
You did?
He really jumped. We didn't realize it until now, but the answer has been right in front of us this whole time. He might be hurt. We need to go check up on him, sirs.
There's that pompous attitude of yours again. You should learn to drop that habit.
This coming from a prosecutor with a habit of whipping everyone she comes across.
Anyway, if you really are a prosecutor, then you'll back yourself up with evidence.
You two aren't listening at all, are you?
Come on then, show me this real murder weapon you speak of. I don't have it.
I don't have any evidence to show you.
Foolish reasoning for a foolish fool who a foolishly foolish fool meant to fool me. What do you mean by I don't have any evidence to show?
Perhaps I should have phrased it as, that which caused Agent Hicks's death is incorporeal. Forgive me, but I do believe I have figured out what the real cause of death was. Stray free? No. Hold on. Whoops. Let me see his bruising. Blunt force trauma. Where was the, Anyway. Free fall. The victim fell from a great height and subsequently died as a result. In other words, the real cause of death is free falling to the ground. He
Fell to his death.
Yes, this is the only plausible possibility. The victim has extensive bruising on the back of his head and his back. And the only rational explanation for these injuries is that he fell to his death.
But the murder happened inside this plane.
I know.
Are you claiming that there's some place in this plane from which he could have fallen from?
As I said earlier, the answer has been right in front of us the entire time.
You can't mean...
Yes, I do. The victim fell from the top of the stairs of this very cargo hold. What? Then... we're in trouble. We may have a second death on our hands, sirs. Hey, you! Tell me you aren't dead, pal.
Quiet. Why are you screaming?
He's alive.
And there you have it, Miles Edgeworth. It's not possible that Agent Hicks fell over the railing to his death. That man is living proof of that.
I suppose it's true that it's not possible, given the current circumstances.
The current circumstances? What is that supposed to mean?
Suppose that large piece of cargo wasn't there at the time. What would have happened then? He would have been a Bourguignon pancake for sure, sir.
I suppose that man over there wouldn't still be breathing. But the reality is that the cargo box is there. So there's no point in entertaining your wild hypothetical scenarios.
It may be there now, but there's no proof that it was always there.
As if there could have been a window of time when the giant box was not there.
Ah, but there was.
What?
What can I use to show her that it's possible the box is not always where it is now?
Refuel.
Take that!
You refueled in the Republic of Zhenfa!
Yes, this flight had a short layover in Zhenfa in order to refuel. But that wasn't the only reason for the layover. We also transferred some cargo. One of the box in question was only transferred onto the plane at that time. To further prove my point, let's take a look at what's next to the box in question. It's labeled Zhenfa Express. Correct, meaning it was loaded onto the plane in Zhenfa. 4 to 5. Now, what if the box in question was also loaded on at the same time?
It would mean that the box was not here in the cargo hold during the Europe-Zhenfa leg of the flight.
Making a clear drop from which Agent Hicks could have fallen to his death entirely possible.
Ah, but your theory is still very far-fetched.
And allow me a chance to prove how very likely my scenario is. My first order of business will be to examine that piece of cargo in more detail. Keeping track of this many pieces of cargo must be very taxing on the cargo crew. It sure brings back memories of when I worked as a part-time mover, sir. By the look in his eyes, he's waiting for me to ask about the rest of the story. But no matter how he pours on the puppy eyes, I have no intention of doing so. This is a rather large piece of cargo. There's a tag on it, sir. Let's see. A leaf red statue? Never heard of it. Nor I, but all I care about is if we can prove it wasn't here at the time of the crime. Let's get investigating, sir. Look here. Do not go about touching my possessions without my permission. Don't rush up on me like that, pal. So this belongs to Mr. LeBlanc, does it? I should see what else I can find out from him. I take it that this large piece of cargo belongs to you, Mr. LeBlanc. Of course it is mine. I shipped this fine piece of art from Europe. This Alif Red statue is worth 10 million cents. No, maybe much, much more. Mr. LeBlanc's reason for choosing this plane must have been the large cargo hold. 10 million cents? I suggest you stop trying to calculate how many packets of noodles that makes, Detective. Darn, how'd you do that? I feel like you keep getting better and better at seeing right through me every year. Oh, I grow with each revolution of the planet around the sun. I have the distinct impression he continues to madly spin in place. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, so that 10 million cents, is that in euros or in dollars? Does it really make a difference to our case? Mr. LeBlanc, there is a chance that your cargo is related to our murder case. I was wondering if you would allow us to examine it a bit closer. It is a very valuable piece of art, so no, there will be no touching. Smuggling. Don't touch the smuggling. Mr. LeBlanc has something to do with the smuggling ring. And it's possible this fake statue was brought on board in Zhenfa. I think I need to question him a bit further. About your statue, Mr. LeBlanc. I wonder if it might be a fake. What? How dare you say my art is fake? I suspect that your statue might be the target of an international smuggling ring. Don't say such fantastical things. Those thieves would not dare. I have the certification in my cargo right here.
Do you mean the cargo certification document? Mr. Zinklebon, why didn't you say so earlier? Please show it to us at once. I can't read this. What does it say? It says as plain as day the cargo was put onto the plane in Europe. And there you have it, Miles Edgeworth. Too bad for you. This statue was brought on board in Europe, just as it states in the certificate.
No, that's...
Which means that there never was a window of time in which this statue wasn't sitting there.
I respectfully disagree. You can't discount theory until I see the statue for myself.
Then you can have your wish. Look at it yourself and see I am right.
This... I know I've seen this somewhere before. This is the leaf red? It gives off such a feeling of art. I can practically smell it. This statue has a high amount of historic value. After it was unveiled at a museum in Europe, I brought it to this country to exhibit it. I believe a closer look is warranted here. So, this is the infamous leaf red statue, huh? What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? Did you find something? There's something wrong with this picture. We should examine it in more detail. So, this is the leaf red statue. I swear I've seen this somewhere before. No wonder this thing's worth 10 million cents. Look at how it sparkles, sir. I wouldn't call it sparkling, detective. Maybe more along the lines of dully shining. Are these eyes made of some sort of gem? That's a real nice shade of orange. For a sec, I couldn't even tell they were jewels. But they kind of remind me of the eyes of the stray cat that lives near my house. Are the eyes supposed to be this color? Is it possible this statue is a fake? What's this? The statue looks like it's stepping all over its neighbor's cloth cover. Kinda resembles its owner's attitude in a sense. What did you say now? Further, my clothing hem's not being stepped on by anyone. It is too expensive for me to allow that to happen. Please forgive the trespasses of my subordinate. Why should I forgive if the dress passes? Unless it is an expensive dress, you keep it. The leftover suitcases sit here, lined up in two pretty neat rows. Too bad for Miss Ternero, but this design is unmarketable. Why don't they sell them in the airport and have a bargain basement sale? Buy one, get one free. If you win the raffle, you get one more for free. How about those ideas, sir? I think if they did that, everyone would lose. What have we here? It says Jean-Fa Express on the cloth, sir. Can I take a guess and say that this delivery company is based in Jean-Fa? Something's tugging in the corner of my mind, as though something is out of place. These eyes are awfully orange, don't you think? Yeah, and pretty. They remind me of sunsets when I was in grade school, sir. I don't think you see what I'm talking about. No, I do, but it's really like the color of the sun when it's setting, sir. The memories. I remember standing out in the field, spinning with my arms out until I felt ill. I don't care about sunsets. Focus, detective. What color are the eyes in this photo? Huh? Sir, they're red. As I thought. This statue was a fake. Mr. LeBlanc. What do you want? Do you not know I am a busy man? I allow you 2 seconds for your answer. The leaf red. I suppose this is your pride and joy, is it not? It is the biggest trophy on this European trip. Do you know why I wanted to possess this statue? The trigger started 17 years ago. Better grab a chair, sir. Sounds like this is gonna be a long story. Mr. LeBlanc, I regret to inform you, and you have my heartfelt sympathy, but... What is that? Sympathy? For what? You'll see. I'd like you to compare the eyes. That large fellow there has very bright and pretty eyes compared to you. I wasn't talking about the 2 of us. I meant the eyes of the statue in front of us, and the one in this photo. Why the sudden yelling? Now then. Oh! It's a photo of the statue on display at the museum in Europe. Now do you see, Mr. LeBlanc? The statue before us is a fake.
Fake?
I believe that even further examination will be required. Now that we have confirmed that this is indeed a fake. There must be some sort of proof that this was brought on board in Zhengfa. And I will present to you evidence that will resolve the remaining contradiction. There's clearly a contradiction here.
What are you going on about? It's just a simple case of a cargo cover getting stuck underneath another piece of cargo. That's not possible.
But it is. It shouldn't be this way, for the statue is on top of the cloth. Supposing that the neighboring piece of cargo was brought on board in Zhengfa, there's no way that any part of it should wind up under something from Europe. Which means that this fake statue was smuggled on board in Zhengfa.
But then, what about that cargo certificate?
Let me ask in return, what about Agent Hicks? Why did he come down here in the middle of the flight? There's only one reason why. To secure proof of the smuggling activity aboard this flight.
So you say, but I don't believe he had to do that mid-flight. He could have just as easily inspected all of the cargo after the plane landed.
That may be true. However, you have it backwards, Francesca. Sure, Agent Hicks could have waited until after the plane had landed, but he had a reason for coming down to the cargo hold. Suppose he had found the fake at the airport. He would have been after the swap had occurred. At the time, the suspicion would naturally fall into the statue's owner, who would have no way to prove that the statue was switched without his knowledge. Which means there was someone involved who was forging or modifying cargo certificates. I guess the victim knew the real version of this was gonna get nabbed, huh? Yes. While this photo could be seen as nothing more than a simple souvenir, it was in fact taken to be used as a reference document later on. Next, Agent Hicks had to secure proof that the smuggling had taken place. He came down here to take a picture of the cargo hold. A rather empty one at that, right before the fake statue could be loaded on board.
A photo of the hold missing a valuable piece of cargo would have been proof enough. After that, all he had to do was hold the Zhengfa cargo crew and arrest the smuggler.
Exactly. This only goes to prove my theory. If the statue was not in the cargo hold during the Europe-Zhengfa leg of the trip, there would have been enough height from which Agent Hicks could have fallen to his death.
Officer! Move this statue immediately! I want a thorough examination of the floor underneath, now!
Miss Von Karma, I'm ready to report my findings.
Go on.
After moving the leaf red statue out of the way, we tested the area underneath it with luminol, and there was a reaction.
I see. There was a reaction to luminol, an indication that there was blood in that spot.
Can we stop looking at it now, sirs? It would seem that my deductions were correct after all.
I suppose it would appear that way.
The culprit cleaned the blood up well.
And how do you think the killer did that?
How did the killer clean up all the blood?
Take that!
The killer used the bloody cloth I found inside the suitcase to clean up the mess.
I see. They had a need to clean up all the blood before the plane landed in Jinfa.
Yes, because otherwise the cargo crew would have discovered it during the layover. So you guys are saying that the murder happened before the plane landed in Jinfa? There's no other conceivable timeline for the events of the murder. But if that is true, then that throws a certain person's testimony into doubt. The murder occurred before we landed in Jinfa. Then this becomes highly suspect. Recall Miss Meal's testimony about Agent Hicks in regard to when we departed Jinfa.
I saw Mr. Hicks sitting in his seat at 5 a.m., you know.
She claims Agent Hicks was alive at the time of the service calls, but that totally contradicts the facts, sir.
But why would she lie about something like that?
I think the only person who can answer that is Miss Meal herself.
I swear he was in his seat. Maybe I just dozed off a little, I don't know.
March 12th, 3:35 p.m. Miss Meal? Miss Meal?
Huh?
Do you recall what you said earlier? About when you answered some service calls as we were departing from Jinfa?
Huh?
You said that Mr. Hicks was sitting in his seat at that time. However, that is simply not possible. Because Mr. Hicks was dead long before we ever touched down in Jinfa.
Oh?
Miss Meal.
Maybe I didn't see what I thought I did.
No one can make a mistake so large, Miss Meal.
But I make that kind of boo-boo all the time.
Ugh.
This is going nowhere. There must be a better way of resolving this contradiction.
Very well. Miss Meal, if you please, tell me about your alibi during the time span. Just before we were to land at 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. when the body was found.
Are you telling me I'm a suspect, Mr. Edgeworth? Yeah. From 3 to 4, I was, in the flight attendant's room all by my lonesome self. Yeah. And from 5 to 6, I was, in the flight attendant's room all by my lonesome self.
How is a man supposed to react to a testimony like that? Miss Meal, wake up.
Oh.
She fell asleep again. It looks like the only way I'm going to be able to wake her up is by pressing her.
Oh, yeah.
Hold it!
Miss Meal, wake up.
I'm awake.
Miles Edgeworth, I demand that you do something about this flight attendant this instant. Why ask me to wake her when you can finally put that whip to an appropriate use?
From 3 to 4.
Hold it!
If I remember correctly, food was being served in first class in the lounge. Between the hours of 3 and 4 a.m.
Yeah, that's that kind of stuff's run by Miss Rhoda.
And what were you doing in the attendance room at that time?
Eating and then having a most delicious dream.
You mean you were neglecting your duties?
No way. Sleeping's part of our job too, you know.
Hold it!
Miss Meal, how many times do I have to repeat myself? Wake up!
I'm awake, I'm awake.
Ouch! What did you whip me for, sir?
Oh, what did I miss?
A poor detective being on the receiving end of a lash in your stead.
Really? Sorry about that.
You can make amends for that by continuing with your testimony.
From 5 to 6, I was in the room all by myself.
So you were alone the entire time, were you?
Yeah, no one else even popped their head in to say hi.
Oh, well, I think a contradiction just popped in to say hi. What should I do? Should I raise an objection? Yes? Miss Meal, there's a clear contradiction embedded in your testimony.
Huh? What are you talking about?
It's not possible that you were alone in the attendance room the whole time from 5 to 6 a.m. because... she bought it at the shop and left it at... she came in, yes.
Take that!
I wonder if you would be so kind as to take a look at this receipt, Miss Meal.
Huh? A receipt? For what?
It's for the suitcase Miss Tenero bought. Now, if I may direct your attention to the timestamp. As you can see, it clearly says 5:40 a.m., Miss Tenero. Yes.
Huh? Why is the killer here? I thought you had locked her up by now.
I requested that she be present as a witness so that we may straighten out your complex lie. Now then, Miss Tenero, between the hours of 5 and 6 a.m., you took a trip from first class down to the first floor in-flight shop, correct?
Yes, I went to the shop to buy a suitcase. After which, I went straight to the attendance room to drop it off.
And did you see Miss Meal there at the time?
No.
So, Miss Meal, where were you really between the hours of 5 and 6 a.m.? Miss Kimmy Meal.
Huh? The bathroom?
I'll be the one to ask the questions here.
Yeah, maybe that's it. I probably just missed her. Nature calls, you know.
You take me for a fool. It's a little too convenient to be true.
But it's the truth. Cross my heart.
I don't have enough conclusive proof to counter-argue her at this stage.
You don't believe me, do you? But please, won't you give me a chance and hear me out?
Reason for suspicion.
Look, I know you're suspecting me because I'm one of the crew. But you think then maybe you should also suspect Miss Rhoda too. She's the one in charge of the elevator keycard in the shop, you know. If you ask me, that makes her super suspicious.
Please leave Miss Tenero out of the conversation. Only you are under suspicion for now.
I don't get it. Why are you covering for Miss Rhoda all of a sudden? Oh, now I get it. Maybe you've got your eye on Miss Rhoda.
Of course I'm keeping an eye on her. I can't very well let her escape, can I?
Never mind. But you want to know something? Miss Rhoda actually kind of like... I have absolutely no interest in people who can't appreciate my sense of design.
Now's not the time for this sort of talk.
She likes you, but you hate her design, so, it's not gonna work out. Sorry.
Hold it!
And what are you in charge of, Miss Mew?
I take care of the attendance room.
That doesn't count.
But I spend so much time in there, it might as well be my responsibility.
Mr. Edgeworth, Cammie's very talented in languages. So she assists passengers who may not speak English. Especially those who speak Burgonian. She's the only one on the flight who's fluent.
Oh, you mean that kind of what am I in charge of? Why didn't you say so in the first place?
What else could I have meant?
Yeah, so I'm really good at Burgonian.
He's fluent in Burgonian. Then I suppose you're in charge of processing documents in Burgonian.
Yeah, I take care of anything that has to do with Burgonia.
Very interesting.
If you ask me, that makes you super suspicious. All I'm in charge of are the attendance room and some Burgonian stuff.
So you can read this.
Objection!
So, you're the only one in this flight crew that speaks Burgonian. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah, I guess so. I studied abroad in Burgonia for a while.
If that is the case, then the signature on this document belongs to you, doesn't it?
Huh?
This is a falsified piece of documentation with only one purpose. To lead anyone who read it to believe that Mr. LeBlanc's statue was loaded in Europe. The only person who could have either prepared or processed this document in Burgonian is you, Miss Mew. Without your participation, the smuggling of the leaf bread could not have occurred. Don't sleep while I'm pointing my finger at you.
Oh, I wouldn't dream of falling asleep on you, Mr. Edgeworth. That is exactly as you said.
Are you confessing to having participated in the smuggling?
No, far from it. It's true that I was the one who signed off on the document. But you can't use the fact alone to make your allegation of smuggling stick. There's no direct correlation after all. All you have is my signature on a piece of paper.
Really? All you did was sign it.
I neglected to check if the cargo had been loaded onto the plane properly. So, sorry about that.
It seems that she's finally woken up. This is going to be one tough fight.
Suppose, and this is just a supposition, even if I was involved in the smuggling, you can't throw the charge of murder on me just like that.
Objection!
If you were involved in the smuggling, you would have a strong motive to kill. Agent Hicks was in the middle of an investigation regarding a smuggling ring. And just when he was about to close in, he's killed by a member of that ring.
Well, did you ever stop to think that maybe Rhoda's the smuggling ring member? After all, unlike me, Rhoda has access to many things on this plane for work purposes.
So perhaps there is some element of a setup at play in this case.
What are you talking about?
Don't worry, I wasn't talking about you. I meant the killer. First it was myself, and now it's Miss Tenero who is under the microscope. Seems to me that our killer is going to great lengths to pin this crime on anyone they can.
You have no proof that Rhoda is being set up, or that she isn't.
Actually, I believe that she was indeed the intended target from the very beginning. I believe that the plan was to push all the blame of the crime onto her. And this evidence will prove my suspicions.
Her ugly suitcase.
The killer could have hidden the body anywhere, and yet they chose the suitcase. Why is that? Perhaps it was to move the body up from the lower deck to the first floor. However, why go through the trouble to do so? The only way all of his actions make sense is if the killer had wanted to frame Miss Tenero for the murder. Miss Tenero buys a suitcase on every flight she works without fail. But should her suitcase be switched with the one containing the victim's body, that would put her in a very tight spot. Unfortunately for the killer, the turbulence put an end to that plan. Huh? There wasn't enough time to put the body back into suitcase. Ergo, they made do with whoever was at hand, adapted their plan, and tried to frame me as I lay unconscious on the floor from the turbulence. The killer then went to hide the suitcase in the in-flight shop, and brought the piggy bank back to the elevator in order to fabricate a false weapon. A lot of work for a fruitless endeavor, wouldn't you agree?
Sounds like the killer had a tough time too, huh? I mean, why did the killer need to frame someone that badly anyway?
That's because of the special circumstances surrounding this particular case. What special circumstances dedicated the need? Where it took place? The special circumstance is simply that the murder took place on a plane mid-flight. No matter which country, customs is quite strict in this day and age. So no matter what you do, the chances that the body will be found is very high. Therefore, there was no choice but to frame either Miss Tenero or myself. In other words, the only one who fits within the boundaries of the criminal's movements is not Miss Tenero or myself, but you, Miss Camille. Only you, and you alone, could be the killer.
And? Are you done already? I was about to fall asleep again. Anyway, let's be honest here. You don't have anything on me other than a whole lot of circumstantial evidence.
Ugh. I can see the outline of how the murder occurred, but I have no definitive evidence. And isn't there a piece of evidence that's still unaccounted for? Something that I still can't quite fit into the big picture.
The phone.
Take that!
I don't have any actual evidence,
I thought not.
but that's because it went missing, and still is. Missing? What do you mean by that? In the complex puzzle that is this case, there was one piece I kept getting stuck on. And that is the victim's cell phone. Franziska, you were waiting at the airport for a phone call from Agent Hicks's cell phone. Or at least, that's what you told me.
That's right.
But Agent Hicks's cell phone could not be found at the crime scene.
You mean the killer took the phone with them?
Precisely. I suspect that if we were to find that phone, it would lead us to the killer.
Come on, get serious. If the victim fell to his death from that height, wouldn't his phone break as well?
We won't know that until we try a little experiment, will we? Franziska, I'd like to ask for your assistance. You know the victim's phone number, do you not?
Of course I do.
Agent Hicks's phone! It's ringing from somewhere, sir. I hear it, Detective. Now, where is it coming from?
Then you're bare, isn't it? Ugh.
Miss Meal, wake up.
Sorry, Mr. Edgeworth. I got sleepy all of a sudden because it sounds like a lullaby I used to love as a child.
I better find that cell phone fast.
412. Ring, 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 ring.
The ringing's coming from somewhere in here, sir. Leave no stone unturned, Detective Gumshoe. We must find it.
Ring, 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 ring. Was this paper here before?
I don't remember. I don't think
so.
The rain is coming from in here, sir. What? No, it can't be. This has got to be the victim's cell phone. Just whose locker is this, sir? It's Miss Tenero's. What?
March 12, 4:28 p.m. The cargo hold. So, Mr. Edgeworth, how'd it go? Where'd you find the phone?
I found it in the flight attendant's room, in Miss Tenero's locker.
What? But...
Rhoda Tenero!
I don't know anything about the phone. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. Miss Von Karma, is it? I suggest you arrest Miss Rhoda Tenero right away.
Objection!
Wait, I have a theory. This is related to the incident with the keycard. When the killer went to steal the keycard, they conveniently stashed the cell phone in Miss Tenero's locker at the same time.
Objection!
This is related to the keycard, all right. In the same way that we have zero proof that the killer did just that.
Eh.
The only voice that sings the truth is evidence. That is the one bird we cannot ignore.
What should I do? Franziska's right. I can't offer baseless conjectures at this point. Alright then, why did the culprit take the cell phone from Agent Hicks? It must have something very incriminating on or in it.
Hold it!
What now, Miles Edgeworth?
It's not over yet. We have yet to figure out why the killer took the phone.
What? What?
Inside this phone lies the final piece of incriminating evidence that will point us to our killer. I need to examine this phone in more detail.
Boop boop boop.
The LCD is broken. Without a screen, you can't even place a call with this. Ah, it's a camera lens. Come to think of it, I wonder, how exactly was Agent Hicks planning to preserve the crime scene of his smuggling? Franziska, I need you to confirm something. This cell phone, can it take pictures? Mr. Edgeworth, I can't believe you don't know about this kind of basic stuff, sir.
This looks like a very similar model to my own. And mine can take photos just fine.
Do you think Agent Hicks could have taken some photos with his? In particular, pictures as evidence for his smuggling case? If so, I'd say there may be some very inconvenient photos in here for our killer smuggler. But the phone's all busted up, sir.
Even a super prosecutor could repair a broken phone.
Ugh, I'll find a way. Don't you worry about that.
May I go back to sleep now?
Objection!
The LCD screens on the inside and outside are broken, that's for sure. But that's also reason enough to believe that the killer wasn't able to erase the data. What?
What do you mean by that, Franziska?
It looks like our killer isn't very familiar with electronics. His phone still rang when I called it, meaning that only the LCD screens are broken. It's possible that the photos are still there inside, waiting to be accessed. All we need to do is transfer the data to my phone.
Franziska, your phone, if you please.
Very well. It's transferring. Alright, displaying it now.
This is...
Agent Hicks was most certainly trying to obtain some evidence for his smuggling case.
Hey, the Aleph Red's nowhere in the pic, sir.
This has no meaning as a piece of evidence in this murder case, right?
She's right. There's not much we can find out from this about Agent Hicks's killer, sir. Is this it? Is this the end? there really nothing in this photo that we can use? What's this? What's all this? Oh, they are cargo shipped from Burgundia to Geneva. So the reason they aren't here now is that they were dropped off in Geneva. Mr. LeBlanc, can you tell me the contents of the boxes? Unfortunately, there's no English written on them anywhere. One cluster of boxes is written in Burgundian. It says it is cloth in English. Cloth. Could it be? Is this where the killer... What for is that scary face? Miss Meal.
Yeah?
It appears that Agent Hicks was no ordinary investigator.
Huh?
He left us with a piece of evidence, after all. A striking piece that will point out who his killer is.
Huh. Maybe you shouldn't force your mistaken reading of a simple picture, Mr. Edgeworth.
The Burgundian cargo and this piece of evidence will point us straight to the killer.
Take that!
And what's that supposed to prove?
The killer used this piece of cloth to wipe up the blood they had spilt. But there was one thing that bothered me this whole time. Where did it come from? And now I have finally found my answer in this very photo. The cargo that was unloaded in Geneva had cloth written on it. In Burgundian, that is. And this is where the killer grabbed a piece from to clean up the blood with. That's right. The killer was someone who could read and understand Burgundian. And the only crew member that fits that description is you, Miss Camille.
Hold it. That's pretty flimsy. The killer probably searched all the boxes looking for something to use. When you're frantic, you don't care if the box is in English or Burgundian.
Objection!
Sorry, but I cannot agree with your assessment of the killer's indiscriminate nature.
What?
There's no need for the killer to tear through boxes at random at all. And if the killer supposedly could not comprehend Burgundian, well then. Logically, the killer would have opened this box first.
Bedsheet.
Take that!
Hey, it says bedsheets in English right on the box, sir. Precisely. And bedsheets would be perfect for cleaning up blood, wouldn't you say?
Hold it! So what are you trying to say?
That if I were the criminal, this box of bedsheets would have been what I would have spotted first. However, the killer chose to use some Burgundian cloth. Do you have an explanation for that? The killer didn't want anyone to know that the real scene of the crime was this cargo hold. So they were afraid to leave signs that the box with the sheets had been opened. However, Burgundian cloth, well, that's a horse of a different color. Because the killer knew that it was going to be unloaded in the Republic of Geneva! That's right. That is why the Burgundian cloth was used. And the only Burgundian reader on board who can make such a calculated decision is you, Camille. You, and you alone. It would be very easy for us to confirm if any of the boxes were resealed. All we would have to do was contact the Geneva authorities in time. We might even find other evidence to incriminate our killer within those boxes. So, what do you say, Miss Meal? Why not confess to your crime here and now? Or would you rather wait and see what we find out from our investigation in Geneva?
He was Interpol. couldn't stop it. I brought him here. He started taking pictures. I couldn't be found out. I was scared. I was in trouble. I...
March 12th, 5:26 p.m. Lounge. We finished making all the arrangements to take the suspect in, sir. Very good, Detective. What about the smuggling route? Did she say anything about that? We're taking her down to the precinct now. Hopefully we can get more out of her there. Whenever we even approached the topic, she just started foaming at the mouth. It was scary, sir. She probably wasn't prepared to commit a murder all of a sudden. One thing is for sure, the ring behind this whole mess means serious business. It looks like there's a lot more to this case than meets the eye.
Mr. Edgeworth! I just wanted to say how much I appreciate everything you did. Thank you very much.
It was nothing. In fact, I should be the one thanking you for your cooperation.
But truly, if it wasn't for you, I might not be here right now. Instead, I can continue to serve our passengers as a flight attendant. I hope that... well, please accept this as a token of my appreciation.
That's...
I see. You don't have to take it if you don't want it.
No, I mean, I would never turn down a lady's generous offer.
Oh, thank you. I'm sure it'll serve you well. And remember, we here at GoU Airlines are always ready to serve, Mr. Edgeworth.
Thank you. I'll keep that in mind.
Now I must bid you farewell. May all your skies be blue no matter where you go.
I can't believe we wound up investigating the whole day, sir, but boy was it fun. Speak for yourself. My day was filled with earthquakes, elevators, and false charges. By the way, where's Francisca? She's filling out some customs paperwork for departure. Departure? Yeah, Miss Von Karma's always really busy, sir. She's been flying from country to country to chase down some leads regarding her case. Detective, can you cancel the car I had you reserve earlier? You got it, sir.
March 12th, 5:47 p.m. Hope Springs Airport.
Francisca.
I thought I told you when you first landed. I have no time for idle chatter.
I have no intention of wasting your time. However, it has been a while since we last met.
I also have no time for such familiar reminiscence. Just who do you think I am?
You are Francisca Von Karma, a very proud prosecutor deserving of much respect.
Until only a little while ago, I was but a wretched mutt who was always losing to you. A dancing Pharaoh, living her life on the name and fame her invincible father built.
True, your father, Manfred Von Karma, didn't lose a single case for 40 years as a prosecutor. However, I wouldn't say he was invincible.
What are you talking about? The group I'm on the trail of is a little more troublesome than most. The smuggling route we found this time is only one sliver of the big picture.
Sounds like a dangerous assignment.
You really don't have to worry. I can take care of myself.
Yes, I suppose you can.
Plus, there's another agent on this case with me.
Oh, another agent?
He's a star among Interpol agents, and has the highest successful arrest rate. Who knows, you may even run into him one day.
I was simply caught up in this one case. I hardly see why we would cross paths.
I suppose. But I doubt he would say the same.
I'm not following you.
You'll understand soon enough. The flight has only just begun, Miles Edgeworth. I'll be back in this country soon enough. And when I am, you can be sure I'll pay you back in full.
And just like that, she's gone, huh, sir? Thank goodness. I can finally rest easy knowing I won't have to watch out for her whip. Detective Gumshoe, I want to thank you for all your help and cooperation. Ah, it was nothing, sir. I was just happy to be able to work with you again. I think I'm gonna celebrate by adding a little extra salt to my instant noodles tonight. Just how much did you cut his salary by, Francesca? Detective, I was wondering if you might give me a ride down to the prosecutor's office. Sure thing, sir. I'll even fly down the road in the patrol car if you want. Don't make me remind you, Detective. Safety first. Thus, I solved the first case upon my arrival home. Franziska von Karma, the smuggling road she was after. The leaders of the Ring had already put their trump card into play. And the players on the other side of this war. They would begin to make themselves known through the next incident. Huh. Edgeworth speaking.
Ah, finally! I called who knows how many times earlier, but I couldn't get through.
And you are?
Ah, have you forgotten my voice, Miles, my boy? Who?
Mr. Amano? Ernest Amano, correct? Ah, so you do remember me.
I know it's rather sudden, but I can't ask this of anyone else. There's been an incident, Miles. My son, he's been kidnapped. Oh no! Okay. That was... Oh, oops. That was a lot. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I had fun with Cammy, at least. I like doing the kind of, Christine voice. So it was kind of long, but I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time when we find out what happened to this kidnapped kid. Hopefully he's alright. Okay, bye.